It's May 7th, 2000. The I Love You virus starts in the Philippines and spreads quickly throughout the world. An earthquake of magnitude 6.5 strikes in Banggai Islands, Indonesia, killing 54 people. A rare conjunction occurs on the new moon. The conjunction consists of the Sun and Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. Computers are failing, the Earth is shaking, the planets are aligned. That can only mean one thing.
What is it? Did David Arquette just... What's going on here? David Arquette won the world title. David Arquette won the world title. He can't believe it. David Arquette won the world title.
And that means we watched WCW Slamboree 2000.
They irritate the irritated, flex perplexities, poise puzzles, magnify mysteries, impose inquiries, and coagulate quandaries. But more importantly, they ask one question.
Why would you make this?
Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you for listening. This is Why Would You Make This? The only podcast to watch publicly confirmed bad movies and genuinely ask the question, why would you make this? I am Jimmy Time. I'm joined as usual by my co-host, Danny Money. How are you, sir?
I'm alright, and yourself?
Pretty good. Jay Delta, how's it going?
What it is,
What it is, yeah, that's... I knew no matter what I asked you, you'd say what it is.
Yeah,
I knew it. You guys watched WCW Slamboree 2000, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. This is a film that did not get lost in translation. WCW Slamboree it's a made-up word. It's not something that you can translate. It's kind of like trying to translate Dr. Seuss. You're just gonna end up hurting yourself somehow. So, I mean, usually the translation leads into the budget and stuff. So, Mr. Money, do you have anything with the budget, or because it was a pay-per-view or TV? Do you have any ratings or anything like that?
I do have some information. At the Kemper Arena that night, there was 7,000 fans attended the pay-per-view that evening.
That's it?
7,000?
Yes.
Jeez.
When I read that, I was just like, wow, this is like
Holy
a
crap.
decent TNA pay-per-view.
You know what? I was gonna mention it until later, but you bring it up right now. There's a part in the first match, Artis versus Chris Candido, where
Capacity crowd.
they go to the entrance ramp to like just mess around or whatever,
Yep.
and the camera cuts too much to the right, and you can see it was like the TNA event we went to, where everything that the hard camera doesn't see,
Empty.
it's cut off. You can't
Yeah.
sit there. Like basically, the floor crowd is right up to where the hard camera would see, and then they just cut everything off. And I was just like, oh my god, how bad was it at this point?
I was curious. I don't know. Did you look up the attendance of the place, the Kemper Arena?
No.
I happened to look it up just out of curiosity. It's about 19,000. So
not even half.
Yeah.
they didn't
Close to it. Huh?
Yeah, they fucked up.
Yeah, and then their buy rates for that pay-per-view weren't any better. They had a .14 buy rate, which was an estimated 65,000 homes had purchased it. At $25 the pay-per-view, they made about 1.6 million that night on Slamboree 2000.
That's like Hogan's contract. That's
Yeah,
nothing.
that's
Exactly. I looked at the pay-per-views throughout the rest of this year, and it was actually one of the worst buy rates for pay-per-views. The only one beating it out was Starrcade, which I'm pretty sure is their like WrestleMania.
yeah, that's their big.
Yeah.
Wait, this was the so Starrcade got worse.
Worse, yeah. Starrcade was .11 on the ratings.
Oh my goodness.
My
Yeah.
God.
And I'm not the ratings, the buy rates, but
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, I might as well bring this up now since we're in this. WWF Insurrection 2000 happened to run pretty much coincide about the same time. We haven't quite figured out how time works with regards to this, but it was May 6, 2000, so the day before it took place in England, and they had an attendance of 17,000. So,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Does anybody know offhand? Because I know nobody looked it up. The day that WWF started winning the Monday Night Wars.
It was 98.
Oh yeah, that early.
Yeah, it was like 98.
So this is them just.
Yeah, they're in a downward spiral.
Yeah, this is supposed to be around WCW's supposed like rebuild up era where they're trying to compete again.
Yeah, I had to, since the fucking whole pay-per-view was New Blood versus Millionaires Club, and I was a little rusty on that, I had to start looking into it.
Yes.
And yeah, you can tell that they were just fucking desperate.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and get to that. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and do our favorite hour, the Troy McClure Hour.
What a terrible waste. Hi, I'm actor Troy McClure. You might remember me from such driver's ed films as Alice's Adventures Through the Windshield Glass and the Decapitation of Larry Leadfoot. For the next 60 minutes, we'll be seeing actual film of car crash victims.
This is gonna be a long one.
Yeah, it's not actually. I'm only gonna do the 3 people involved in the main event.
Oh,
I'm not gonna do
thank
everybody.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, no, only the people in the advertising
All
main event.
right.
So, but little information about him too. Jeff Jarrett is a 3rd-generation wrestler, and he has held 74 championship titles over his wrestling career, including a collective 16 World Championship range, which is 6 NWA TNA titles. Well, actually, just NWA because he held it NWA before they were TNA. So 6 NWA titles, 4 WCW titles, 3 USWA titles, that was like territory days.
Yeah.
2 WWA titles, which WWA is after WCW closed. Everybody that didn't go to WWF when they got bought out went to this brand new Australian promotion.
Yeah.
And just like Sting, Jarrett, like Bret Hart, like just any Macho, anybody that didn't go to there, they went to WWA. And then he also has 1 AAA title.
Okay.
You may remember him from such roles as youth pastor in Spring Breakers, himself in 2 separate episodes of Blue Collar TV, which that's the Jeff Foxworthy television show.
God.
And he was also a uncredited wrestler in the Chris Rock film Head of State. I think they might have went to a TNA event like in the movie because you can also see Ron Harris, B.G. James, and Ron Killings in the background too, all uncredited. Yeah. David Arquette has only won the WCW World title. No other wrestling accomplishments. You remember him from such roles as Johnny Queefer in the 2001 television series Son of the Beach.
I didn't even know he was in that show.
Yeah, just for a couple episodes, yeah. Gordon in C-Spot Run. And because we just talked about what his most recent role was in the last episode, he is currently still acting, and he has 6 projects listed on IMDb in post-production.
I'm surprised he's still acting.
He's real busy this year.
Good for him then.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Because I felt like he just like disappeared.
Yeah, no,
For a
he's
long
still
time.
voiceover. So, voiceover work, I guess, mostly. All right, and lastly, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, is a renowned fitness expert and has won a collective 13 wrestling championships, including 3 WCW heavyweight title reigns. You may remember him from such roles as Billy Ray Snapper in Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects, Captain Kennedy in the 2006 film Driftwood, and most recently, Officer Carwin in The Murders of Brandywine Theater. You can see the full cast and crew at imdb.com. All right, so let's finally start the pay-per-view.
Well, I like stretching this out as long as we can.
Oh, you
So
dick.
fuck you. Yeah. I just want to say, apparently this was all brought about because they decided that the storylines were not working.
Yes.
Let's rework everything.
Yes.
We got to push the new talent, so we make all the new talent the bad guys.
Kinda?
Right? No, that's exactly what happens.
No, yeah, that's what
That
it
is
is.
exactly. They think we're gonna team all of the new guys with Bischoff and Russo,
Yeah.
and that'll push them into. I don't understand. Here's what I want to know. At this point, who is a WCW fan? Like, who is just not like, I understand you're a wrestling fan. Like, I just like wrestling. I watch WCW. I watch WWF. Great. Who's the guy or woman, right? We don't discriminate here. who is like, fuck WWF. It's garbage. It's not entertaining. I only watch WCW because it's the best. Who?
can't imagine who.
You know who it is? It's the same people who are like, I'm not buying an iPod. I'm gonna get a Zune because fuck you, Apple. Like,
What? It's funny. Who watches it? My one cousin who ended up moving to Florida watches WCW. Like, it was, and I always found it weird because I never watched WCW growing up. I only watched WWF.
Yeah.
And so, like, whenever he watched wrestling with me, it was WWF.
Yeah.
So when I once went to go visit him and he was watching WCW and he was all up on WCW, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on
Yeah.
or who any of these people are. But sure, kid, if this is what you enjoy then.
I mean, I'd like to presume it was just the people who were really big wrestling fans who were like, well, there's other wrestling on TV. I might as well also watch it.
what? Yeah, but like, I watched it
But yeah,
like because it was wrestling.
But that
right?
was the thing. He only watched WCW, though.
Yeah,
He didn't watch
only.
Yeah, that's-
WWF.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
That's the
exactly.
person I
that's
don't understand.
dedication.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I always found it weird because I was just like,
Good
That's
for him.
huh?
Good for him, man.
See, there's a DSM diagnosis for that.
Oh my God.
For like, if you look way in the, it's like WCW fan.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're pretty deep into this podcast. Let's go ahead and finally start the show.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, show starts off with a video package. So we already talked about Last Thunder. Everybody, both groups were in the Millionaires Club, but New Blood. Let's have an overtop battle royal. Whoever wins gets a shot at Great American Bash at the title. Macho clears house. Also, we see Flair use a bat against Shane Douglas, who is the face, by the way, but
Yeah.
they're getting the shot. Whatever. Show starts. We see a bus arrive in the Millionaires Club exit, and then we see the New Bloods watching on a television from their locker.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed. There's no fucking way Vampiro's watching the television.
No, he's
yeah,
sitting
no.
in the corner,
Yeah.
just like he's like, no,
There's
I gotta
no
look.
way. That guy has no idea what's going on. All right, another video package runs down the actual card of the match. This is confusing. I don't really know specifically what's happening because the video package doesn't do a good job of explaining it. So what I think the card is Ric Flair versus Shane Douglas. If Flair wins, Flair gets Russo for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Vampiro versus Sting in a graveyard match.
who knows?
Kidman versus Hulk, and Bischoff's just gonna be a special guest referee. I
You
don't
mean
know. I don't
Hulk
know.
or Terry? Or back to Hogan?
I think it's gonna be Hulk. Although it's supposed to be Terry. This is oh man. Oh, man. And then finally the cage match with Paige and Jarrett and Arquette
Yep.
for the WCW title. All right, so finally, Pyro and Ballyhoo. Western Union presents WCW Slamboree 2000. Shivani welcomes us with Scott Hudson and Mark Madden, and they are live from Kansas City, Missouri. And I am confused, because shouldn't Kansas City be in Kansas? I don't know. I think WCW is transcended time and space. Right?
No, there's two Kansas
Yeah,
cities.
there's two Kansas.
I fell for that same trap before.
Capacity crowd of
Yeah,
7,000
kinda,
19,000
yeah.
arena.
They also mentioned that Mike Tenay is there at ringside with them, but we don't see him until like the main event. Yeah.
All right, so real quick, recap. Here we are, the new WCW, right? This is it. Rules are lax. We got these two hot factions. We got the New Blood. We got the Millionaires Club. They hate each other. They're fucking going toe to toe.
You're doing a really good Scott Hudson right now. I
Yeah,
can tell you.
and let's go to the first match.
Chris Candido versus the Artist.
Two New Blood guys. What the fuck? What the fuck? It's two new. Really, we open with New Blood versus New Blood.
Is the Artist New Blood?
Yeah,
Yes?
they're both
Yeah.
technically part.
Yeah, they mentioned that they're both New Blood.
Yeah, they
competing
actually
against
open
each
up
other.
and they're like, both of these men New Blood and blah blah blah.
But yeah, but before we get
That
too
doesn't
far
make any
into the
sense.
first match, now what exactly are the rules in WCW?
Well, they just recently changed because of Russo, so all
Okay.
the rules now relaxed.
Yeah,
And I don't know because of that.
Okay, because at this point, as I was watching, I was like, pretty much WCW has the same rules as ECW at this point. Anything
Yeah.
goes.
That's kind of what it was because they were on the outskirts of, they're losing everything. So they're like, shit, whatever. Anything goes, do whatever you want, everything's
Yeah,
crazy.
so
But
the-
it ruined it.
The idea is when Russo and Bischoff take over and they do the whole all titles vacated, blah blah blah. They're like, this is the new WCW. It's not gonna be strict. By the book. Rules are gonna be more lax.
It's not gonna be it's not gonna be a grandpa's wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
None of those old guys, none of those headlocks for 10 minutes.
So they're trying to appeal to like the hardcore, the WCW crowd.
They're definitely trying to appeal hardcore to the 18-24
Yeah.
demographic. Like that's their bread and butter right now, and they are trying to go for it.
They're fucking full on.
Yeah. And they try to do it right off the bat. So Chris Candido versus the Artist for the Cruiserweight title match. Do you guys, we're going to play this game all night. Do you guys know why this match is happening?
Because what had happened was
You're pretty close so far, actually. You're already pretty spot on.
I personally think the only reason the match happened was so that they had some way to get to the end where Paisley takes off, what's her face's dress.
Could have been.
which was
Yeah, we'll get to it. At the last pay-per-view, there was a 6-way for the Cruiserweight title, which I mentioned this.
Yeah.
And it ended with a debuting Tammy distracting the Artist and allowing Chris Candido to get the win and the title.
Okay.
So here
Yeah.
is the payoff. Enter Cruiserweight champion Chris Candido with Tammy, followed by the Artist with Paisley.
Sharmell.
Yeah, Sharmell, Booker T's wife. Blah, 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 yeah. I'm not gonna go through the whole match. So there's a lot of it's. I thought it was an alright match.
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I should point out, before the Artist comes out, once they're in the ring, Tammy threatens to strip, and Chris Candido pretends to cover her.
Yeah.
Kind of like the way you pretend to stop a child from running past by putting your arms out as far as possible and your legs out, so there's just no surface area to you.
I don't know why. I actually ended up enjoying the Artist.
Yeah?
Yeah, ended up becoming a fan of his.
I thought that was the dumbest. I thought it was like, because he didn't talk.
No.
And I don't remember him talking. And
Nope.
actually, I've seen other stuff, and apparently, like, it was basically just Paisley would go up to people and go, "The Artist wants to fight you," and like he wouldn't talk.
Right.
Solid work rate in this match.
Yeah,
And I think maybe that's why I liked it, because he was a
No,
song.
well, the match was all right, but the Artist is a dumb. It's like
No, it's awful.
it's like the Honky Tonk Man, but a worse. It's like Rockabilly.
No,
it's a
you
worse
want to know
Honky
what
Tonk
a worse
Man.
gimmick is? Is in the next match, Norman Smiley's gimmick. That is a worse
Oh,
gimmick.
don't you-
Crowd loves it.
Yeah, the crowd loves it. The ending, I thought, got kind of botched by somebody. Actually, it definitely was botched. I shouldn't say that. It definitely was botched, because at the end, Sonny goes to hit Paisley with a chair, and she ducks, and she hits the Artist instead, and the Artist just falls, and Candido goes to pin the Artist, and the ref's like, 1, 2, and he does that jump where he's like, oh, no, it's almost 3, but I guess the people in the back are like, that's it, they're done, and they ring the bell, and the music goes off.
And then they wave it off.
Yeah, and the ref's like, no, that's not it, no, that's not it! And Candido's like, all right, I get up, pile drive him, go up, diving headbutt, now I win. I was like, why didn't you just let that be the finish?
Yeah, absolutely no
That
sense.
didn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
And then finally after the match, after Candido wins, the shit doesn't make any sense. Paisley comes in, rushes Tammy, ducks and like low blows Candido. He's down. Tammy goes to run. The Artist gets up, who was beaten.
Yeah.
Gets up, stops Tammy. Oh, they kind of look around for a second, and then they pull Tammy's dress off, which is the dumbest.
I have never seen this happen before. Tammy, they removed her dress.
They did
and
magic.
She was less sexy. I don't know how it happened.
They took her dress off, and she had more clothes on.
I don't know.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Tammy's underwear was less revealing than the clothes Paisley was currently wearing.
Yeah.
Like, she willingly, it didn't make any sense. Plus, you saw, like, the dress she was wearing was, like, backless.
Yeah.
So you saw, like, the sports bra the whole time.
Yeah.
She fell down a lot, so you could see her granny, like, sports. I wouldn't even say granny pants. They're like, they're like sports panties.
Granny sports pants.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah, because last pay-per-view, they did that to Paisley, so that was, like, the payback.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this, like, close to the time that WWF is, like, legit titties are coming out, like, Cat gets naked? And...
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't remember
I'm pretty
exactly
sure
when,
it's,
but
like,
it
it's
probably
around
is.
this. It's within a year of this time. And yet this is, like...
Yeah, I don't know whose decision that was, but it was a dumb decision.
Awful.
All right, we go to a break and meet the announce team. Tony Schiavone has a horrific fake tan. Oh my god. They talk up the cage match and they segue to a video package for Terry Funk and the hardcore match that'll be next. The video package is mostly just Terry Funk getting the crap kicked out of him and, oh my god, Terry Funk is still wrestling, oh man.
Those fucking funk salts. Crooked.
Yeah, I love them. They're just iconic now. They're not
Yeah.
even bad. They're just, no, that's how you're supposed to.
No, you're supposed to go sideways and look like you died.
Oh, man. All right. Next up is the hardcore title match, Terry Funk versus Screamin' Norman. which is how they announce him. Even though his name is Screaming Norman Smiley, but
Yeah.
Screaming Norman and a mystery partner. Why is this match happening?
What happened was...
No, you're very far off at this time.
What had happened was
I just told him. You not paying attention? All right, look.
there were still too many old people on the roster, and they needed something to give them to do rather than to showcase them in an actual match.
Not far off from what Russo said on April
Ah,
10th.
awesome.
He was like, we're gonna get all the titles back from everybody, and then he was like, we're also gonna get the hardcore title back from Terry Funk because he's not a millionaire, so he's not Millionaires Club, and he's too old, so he's not New Blood. So whatever.
So at the end, Terry Funk still ends up with it. Great job right there, Vince
that's how
Russo.
he did it, yeah. I don't know what he did. He stripped him the title, and then he just got it back, and then got it back again and again and again. Norman Smiley has been in the hardcore division for a while now,
Yeah.
and the mystery partner finally appeared the Nitro before because it was talked about a few weeks before. This is really the only information I have on the hardcore mystery partner. The Nitro before, he wrestled in a hardcore match with Smiley against Crowbar. The mystery partner was dressed as the mascot for the Birmingham hockey team. He spent a majority of the match with his head stuck between the ropes. Yeah,
All right.
the commentary spent the most of the match guessing that it might be people like the Shockmaster, Abdul the Butcher, or Rosie O'Donnell.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know why he has a mystery partner, but that was what I found. Regardless, this should be a fun match.
Oh wait, I think they mentioned why he has a mystery partner because he can't beat Funk. So
so he has.
Yeah,
okay.
so he got someone to help him out.
That does make sense considering what happens much later. But so we see Funk walking backstage, and he sees a group of people and asks them, "Where's Norman?" And the group point out to a bathroom, just totally selling out Norman.
Yeah.
This happened the last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He said, "Where's Norman?" They all pointed to a bathroom, and he went in there, and he opened it up, and he was like, "Ah!" And the fire extinguisher, yeah, it was a mess. So yeah, Funk says deja vu, just a different crapper. He calls him to get out, but when Funk goes in to confront him, it turns out it's just the masked man, and Norman attacks from behind with the fire extinguisher. Not hitting him, just
spraying him.
Yeah, just spraying him with it. But yeah, this is the start of a great hardcore match, I feel.
Dude.
There's a part in the match where the mystery partner finally gets a chance to get involved in the match, and he takes a garbage can and just kind of starts tapping Funk in the head. And as bad as that was, my favorite part is all of a sudden Norman Smiley just goes, "No!" and bum rushes his mystery partner and grabs the can from him and just fucking wails Funk.
Right in the face.
Yeah, it was almost as if he the few taps happened and Norman was like, "You're gonna kill the match, you asshole!"
Oh, man.
So, yeah, they go around the back from the bathroom. They go into the catering area, and you can see this old man in a tuxedo, like a butler guy, just, wandering around, just kind of, looking on. And then they get too close to him, and Norman hits Funk in the head, and the old man just goes, "Ah! Ah!" and tries. He's watching the whole match, but once they get, a good, 10 feet away from him,
He runs
he
off.
gets hit, and then he's like, "Oh!" He gets scared. He didn't know. It was so weird, yeah. I do want to point out that usually the spot in the hardcore matches, you take the metal garbage can, you put it over the guy, you take a chair and you swing it at him. Yeah. It's supposed to be a big thing. They take the plastic garbage bin and put it over him.
Yeah.
Take was it a chair? Yeah, take the steel chair, swing back, swing at him, and then right when you connect, instead of hitting him, the force moves down to your feet and you just slip.
All right.
Yeah. I was just like, oh my god, those poor bastards.
How about in the hardcore match where there's a spot where the guys are fighting and the mystery partner climbs onto a whole bunch of rolled up astroturf,
Yes.
and then they throw cardboard boxes.
Empty cardboard.
They just fucking throw cardboard.
No, he wasn't even aiming.
Yeah, he was just flinging, and then he found a chair somewhere. Was flinging a chair.
That was Funk. That was Funk.
Oh, that was
Funk
Funk
was
flinging
like, what
the
the
chair.
fuck are you doing to
But
it?
not a steel chair, not
No.
professional. No, but just a regular chair that does not fold,
on a- like a
metal
classroom
legs
chair,
and
yeah.
plastic, and just starts hucking those up at the mystery partner.
No, well, not really. He kind of just starts hucking them over his head towards the mystery partner, hoping they'll hit him. We should also point out that the mystery partner is decked out in full catcher's gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mask, pads, all that stuff. Somewhere in the catering, Funk finally starts coming back in the match, and Norman finally starts screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it only took him 5 minutes.
I know. Like halfway through the match, the commentators point out that the mystery partner he's just following the match.
Yeah.
He's just, and if you look, you can see he's just walking behind the match, holding the garbage can. Like, just like, sometimes he wields it over his head, but he's like 6-10 feet away from them, so he's not going to hit anybody, but he's ready. He's ready to do it.
He has to protect himself from Funk's shadow, of course. Come on.
About 3/4 away through the match, Funk finally drags the mystery partner out in front of the crowd and towards the ring.
Yeah.
And literally he's like the mystery partner is crawling, so Funk's really dragging him to the ring. And I don't know if this is when the spot was supposed to happen or Funk just goes, oh, fuck it. And like halfway down the entrance ramp, he just pulls like the mask and the shirt off and goes, whatever, now you're unmasked. Deal with it.
He's kind of just fucking tiptoed over, but it's Ralphus. That's their big reveal.
Yeah.
That it's Chris Jericho's old security guard, Ralphus, big, fat, very few teeth, awful
boil.
Yeah.
That like herniated boil.
Is that what that?
I don't know what that is.
That's a hernia, is what that is. So Ralphus, and they even laugh about this at one point. They're like, "Oh, look at his navel. There's a bulge coming like out of his navel.
Yeah.
That's what a hernia looks like. A hernia from the belly button. That's your intestines are pushing through. Yeah, no, that's a hernia." And everyone's like, "Oh, that's it." Oh, dude, it was.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
And as bad as that is, this is actually where the match itself starts to fall apart. The end of the match, where it starts to get ridiculous, is Norman goes for the big wiggle, which is he just kind of dance behind a bent over guy and just starts to like wiggle his hips and thrust into him.
Yeah.
It's very, very, he's simulating rape.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't want it,
And
obviously.
the crowd fucking loves it.
But yeah, he goes for the big wiggle, and Funk grabs a chair while he's bent over and stands up and swings backward to hit Norman, but Norman grabs it and hits Funk instead. Funk's down. Yeah. Ralphus gets up and he's like, and so he's like, oh, you want to do the big wiggle? All right, go ahead and do the big wiggle. He does. Funk does the same thing, grabs the chair, nails Ralphus, right? Turns around, and Norman, I don't know why, Norman looks at Funk, then looks at Ralphus, then looks at Funk, and then goes over to Ralphus and goes, hey, Ralphus, you okay, man? And Funk's just like, all right, whap, and smacks him in the face with the chair.
At this point, Smiley is like checking on Ralphus, but he's doing it in a way that he's facing Funk and basically looking at Funk come at him.
He's going, hey, Ralphus, you okay? But his neck is turned a full, like, 90 degrees looking directly at Funk.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Which that makes me wonder, was the spot supposed to be in reverse? Was Ralphus supposed to actually be doing the wiggle first and get hit by the chair, and then Smiley supposed to be doing it?
It could have been, because then after he wails Norman with the chair, he just picks Ralph, who's down. Ralphus is down. He picks Ralphus up, wails him with the chair again. Then Funk just rolls up Norman, who gets up again, because Norman, after he hits Ralphus a second time with a chair,
walks past Funk.
Yeah, Norman gets up again and goes to Ralphus and goes, hey, Ralphus, you okay, man? And then Funk rolls him up.
Walks past Funk, who's up, and just walk past him and goes, hey, Ralphus.
Hey, Ralphus, man. Come on. So, yeah, winner, Terry Funk, retains the hardcore title. And once again, despite being the loser, Ralphus and Norman Smiley, the losers, are up post-match celebrating, going, yeah, we did it. Insane.
So, obviously, we have a great hardcore match coming from WCW. Does anyone want to take a guess? Insurrection 2000.
Oh, what?
What the hardcore match was there?
What is this, 2000?
2000 what? May. 2000 May. I'm going to guess Raven was in the match.
Nope.
No?
Hardcore Holly?
You're halfway.
Crash Holly.
Crash
Holly.
And the Main Street Posse?
The British Bulldog.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Crash Holly defeated...
Oh, yeah, they're in England, duh.
Yeah, Crash... no.
But I think the British Bulldog would have a better match than the hardcore match.
Bulldog defeats Crash Holly in a 3.5-minute hardcore match.
They didn't even give him a full...
Yeah, it's just, fuck you, England, squash.
Awful. All right, up next is an interview with Mean Gene, and he's got David Arquette. And he goes, hey, why are you not with the Millionaires Club? You're a millionaire. And he says, well, actually, he says, your wife's a millionaire, so why aren't you in the Millionaires Club? And he goes, look, I made my own money, all right? I don't need my wife's money. I have my own. And he's like, but also I'm very scared, all right? I'm not. Actually, David Arquette says specifically, DDP doesn't think I'm a sports entertainer, so what? So I was just like, ugh. Even back then.
Yeah.
All right, next match. The perfect one, Sean Stasiak versus Kurt Hennig. Why is this match happening?
Well, what happened was Sean Stasiak is the new blood, and he's the new perfect. And Kurt Hennig...
So, Money, you got anything for this?
Yeah, I'm going to go with WCW was like, we're going to capitalize on the fact that these are generation stars and that their fathers were really good. So let's put their sons out there and see what happens.
All right, that you guys are terrible bookers. The reason this match happened, because leading up to the pay-per-view, Sean Stasiak appeared in a series of promos where he would emulate Kurt Hennig's WWF persona, Mr. Perfect. The Nitro before, I believe, he did one where he took free throws all night long, claiming he was going to break the world record for free throws. Shivani pointed out that the record was 5,221 in a 24-hour period.
Oh. That's a fucking... Oh, who... Dude! Find out who holds that record, because I really, like...
Well, actually, it was funny, because during one of the takes, he was kind of shooting and went, all right, here I go. Shoot, whoosh, shoot, whoosh, shoot, doom, 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 doom. And then I was just like, oh, my, he almost missed. That was the end. That would have been the end of it. He freaked out. Then at the end of the night, when Stasiak was supposedly going to make number 5,222, Hennig attacked him from behind and then picked up the basketball rack and threw it on him.
Terrible.
Yeah, so yeah, both men come out, the match starts. This is kind of just a straightforward, basic wrestling match.
Yeah,
it's real good. It's not. Nothing stands out, but there's nothing bad about it at all.
Well, the only thing that I didn't like about it was, like Sean Stasiak, do not enjoy his moniker of the perfect one at all.
Yeah, I don't know why he had to steal his gimmicks.
Well, not even the stealing the gimmick. I don't know, just for him, it did not sound right. It just, for me, did not fit the person.
All right. I don't know why, but Hennig is wearing two singlets, I notice.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he is.
Because he's too perfect for just one. No, he's not. It's
not.
a WWF
Yeah, it's not.
patent-pending
Yeah, he's not
copyright.
perfect in this match at all
No.
because the match ends with what I feel is a very lazy catapult by Hennig.
Yeah.
Into a turnbuckle.
Turns
Stasiak-
around and
Yeah.
takes a perfect plex. Or,
Yeah.
sorry, a fisherman
That
suplex.
Fisher. No,
Yeah.
it's what is it? It's a fisherman suplex, but they make a
A
distinction.
Hennig plex.
Is that the Hennig
Yeah,
plex?
the Henningplex, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because his is the perfect plant. Like Stasiak's fisherman suplex is the perfect plant. But he did a Henningplex instead.
I understand it means like I'm
Awful.
gonna plant you into the, but it just makes me think like he's gonna go and get a potted plant. He's like, this is it. This is my perfect plant.
It's a weed reference.
Smash.
Smashed it over that.
Yeah, because it's WCW. You have relaxed rules. You're allowed to smash potted plants over people's heads.
Not if you're Rhino. Oh wait, that's WWE.
Yes, yeah.
All right, we go to a promo. Russo, Steiner, Kimberly, Bischoff, and Elizabeth are in the locker room. Russo, after saying something else, I don't know, says, all right, Scott, let's go. And he puts his hand on his bicep to go, come on, let's go, Scott. Scott says, don't touch me to Russo. Actually, there's a terrible Scott Steiner. Don't touch me! That's a little better.
Yeah.
If I had to describe Kimberly in one word that was offensive, but also censor-friendly, it would be milky. So next is the U.S. title match. Hugh Morris versus Scott Steiner. Why is this match happening?
Well, what happened was you have the Misfits in action, and they're not good enough, so we're gonna let them go. But Hugh Morris, he's a guy and their things, and what happened was
That's kind of close, actually.
yeah.
So, you got anything, Money? You want
No.
to guess? No? All right. I don't know why this match is happening. But
It's not between Hugh Morris and Scott Steiner. You got that wrong.
before, let me tell you
Okay,
why I want to
alright.
explain why this match is happening. First off, before this pay-per-view, Bischoff put Hugh Morris in a three-way dance against Steiner and Jarrett the night show before this, with the stipulation that if any of the Misfits in action interfere, they're fired.
Okay.
Despite only coming down once the match was over to celebrate with their leader, he fired all three members of the Misfits in action, except for Hugh Morris. I don't know why Steiner is defending his title against Hugh Morris. I couldn't find a reason as to why, but he is. When Hugh Morris enters for his match,
Hennig's still leaving.
you can still see Hennig. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best. I was like, oh. You see the Misfits in action in the crowd, and we get a promo by Hugh Morris. He says Hugh Morris is his slave name.
Holy shit.
It was a brain fart by Bischoff to make him look stupid. You're gonna call him by his real name, Hugh G. Rection, or Captain Rection for short.
Dude. Was Major Guns around at this point?
I don't know. I can't imagine Team Canada showing up after this. So
Yeah.
I want to say, yeah, she already left.
Dude, when I was a young teenage boy, Tylene Buck, good God. So many nakedness.
Because she left wrestling for porn.
Yeah.
A quick question for Captain Rection. Why would you make yourself a captain in your own fake army?
I swear, I thought he was General Rection.
Yeah, I guess eventually...
Does he later realize? He's like, wait, there's nobody above me, so I could just...
Well, I don't know what the wrestler's name is. Like, it might have been Lash LaRue, it might have been another guy,
Yeah.
but there was a member of the Misfits in Action whose name was Private Stash. You know, like a region of Private Stash. And he quit. I don't know if he quit, but he got upset and made it, like, his business that he thought his ranking was too low. And he wanted to be, like, upgraded to, like, Captain Stash.
All right.
Oh my
You
God.
fucking idiot.
Okay.
That means you don't get the joke, and you're a fucking egomaniac.
Terrible.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, the only reason I think this match happened, and I'll admit I stopped paying attention for this match because I can give two shits about
Yeah.
Hugh Morris, and pretty much this match, to what I did pay attention, was what I thought it was going to be. A giant squash match, and Hugh Morris was just there to feed Steiner someone.
Pretty much. That's how I felt, I thought.
Oh, okay. Just fuck you because I looked this up, right? Shortly after being released, WCW, they reappeared under different names. There was General Hugh G. Rection, Guerrero was Lieutenant Loco, Lash LaRue was Corporal Cajun, Van Hammer as Major Stash. Okay, he got promoted. They were given Tylene Buck as Major Guns.
Okay.
So she came after that, and then we also got apparently in July, The Wall joined as Sergeant AWOL. Dude!
Okay.
Oh, wait, so then that was Van Hammer in the Misfits in Action.
Yeah.
I thought that was The Wall. Sorry, he's not on this card then. I was going to point him out, but that's not him. Never mind.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So Hugh Morris ditches his slave name. He's no longer Cassius
Yeah.
Clay.
Now
He's
he's
now Hugh G. Rection.
Captain Rection, yes. Steiner's music hits, and it's a version that I'm not used to. And then Medeja and Shakira, his two ladies, come out.
Yeah.
Like a good few feet ahead of him.
Yeah.
So I just go, I guess they're the champs and they're going to defend the title. Like, I didn't know what was going on for a second.
It's like DBZ, they got to do a dance, and then when they fuse together, you get Scott
That's
Steiner.
right.
Steiner is two hoochie mamas. Oh my goodness. So yeah, he comes out and finally gets to the ring. Match starts. Like you said, pretty much kind of just a squash match. He just kind of kicks the shit out of him. Steiner exits the ring a lot to just point at specific fans and be like, fuck you, you fan specifically.
I feel like there was one fat guy
There were-
on
it's-
the
The right side of the entrance ramp.
who just everybody yelled at.
Yeah, I was like, at the end, I was like, that's gotta be like Buff Bagwell's dad or something. Like, that's gotta be
I'm glad
somebody.
you noticed it too.
Yeah.
And I think Steiner was only really yelling at the crowd to then WCW can really push along the angle of, yeah, this is a really bad guy. He doesn't care who he fights with.
Yeah, probably.
Crowd loved him though. Crowd loved Scott Steiner.
Did he? Did they?
I mean,
They
he
loved
was.
the hoochie mamas.
Yeah.
Could've been the hoochie mamas. Yeah, the match ends with a kind of long, weird sequence where Rection goes up for a moonsault. The girls come in, like, into the ring to go, no, don't do the moonsault. He does the moonsault anyway.
Steiner tries to roll out of the way, catches a top rope Pele kick to the
he
back
gets
of the
kicked
nog.
right in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like, because he rolls out of the way, so the move's not supposed to connect.
Yeah.
So he should just get up and go, yeah, he didn't hit me with the move, but he kicked him in the back of the head, and Steiner gets up like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Which to me goes, you definitely really got kicked in the back of the head because you just forgot what like wrestling is.
See, but you know what? In the end, that's Skyner's fucking fault, dude.
No, I know, but
Because if he was any smarter of a wrestler, he would have known on that he should have rolled towards the ring
That's
post
what it
rather
was,
than
yeah.
roll the other way around.
well, yeah, I'm not gonna tell Steiner that, but
I'll tell him that.
I'm glad you did.
Steiner, fuck you, dude. Wrong.
All right, you might regret that when you hear what he's doing now.
Hear that, Scott Steiner? Danny Money's calling you out.
This is gonna be a good card we're gonna put on. I gotta find somebody to fight. Yeah, after he gets him from that head kick, puts him in the Steiner recliner. Winner by submission. Retains U.S. title Scott Steiner.
All right, let's bring this up now. How do submissions work in WCW? Like, in WWF, I know either, you tap out,
Yeah.
or there's the like, yes, I give up.
Verbal agreement.
Yeah, the verbal, or, they just pass out.
Yeah, the
and
ref
can't
checks if
continue.
he's not there.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't understand how it works because in the two matches that end with submission, spoiler alert for the total packages
Well,
match.
We didn't say, you just said it, well, you didn't have to spoil that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did. Spoiler alert for the total packages match. Both times, the submission goes on. It's like, bing, 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 that's it. The match is done. Like, it's basically, who can lock their submission in first? That's it, the match is done.
I'll give you that because in the Lex Luger match, I thought the same thing.
Dude.
I wasn't sure, but I think it's on the signal of, what is it, Bagwell, like, waving his arm like an idiot. I think that's the signal that I'm done.
But if the total package has you up on his shoulder and is jumping up and down, you can't not wave your arm like an idiot.
ref's an idiot. What do you want from him?
Your whole body is being waved. And what about this? Scott Steiner locks in the Steiner recliner. It's bing, bing, bing. Match is over. I was like, but he didn't tap or submit or like. I didn't even see his mouth move. His ref's like, no, that was the end spot. Bing, bing, bing. Match. Let's go. It was.
Bret Hart's with the company at this point, right?
Kinda?
Yeah.
He's the 10th most liked guy in the company, so...
So maybe when they signed him, he was like, listen, you got to institute a rule. Once someone slaps in a submission, that's it. It's over.
No.
We can't have this Macho bullshit again.
No,
Actually,
on his debut, if you
on his
remember it, go for it.
debut, he literally, it was Hogan and Sting.
think, yeah.
And Sting puts Hogan in the Scorpion Deathlock, and Bret Hart is like, bing, 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 and like calls for the bell.
No, that's not what happened. But
It's basically what
no,
happened.
it's the opposite of that, but it is. It was Sting went for the Scorpion Deathlock, and Nick Patrick was supposed to ring the bell right away, but rumors have it that Hogan paid him off, so he waited a few seconds before he rang the bell, just like instead of being like screwed. So then Bret Hart came out and was like, I'm not going to let the match end that way, but he didn't get screwed because he waited a couple seconds. So Bret Hart just looked like an idiot. And then, actually what happened was Sting put on the Scorpion Deathlock, and instead of going, bing, 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 oh, screw job, he put it on. All right, bing, bing, bing. And then Bret Hart goes, no, I'm not going to let a screw job like that happen. So he just went the fucking heel, coming out in favor of heel Hogan. It was so bad. It was the worst. And that was 99. That was a year ago. Yeah, so Bret Hart had nothing to do with this, unfortunately. Anyway, the Scott Steiner match is technically not over yet, because Scott Steiner throws the ref out of the ring and puts the recliner back on general erection. The Misfits in action jump the rail, and luckily, seconds before they jumped the rail, R&B security started running down to the ring.
Yeah, they're already there.
So they stop them before they can even get to the entrance ramp, which is bad because they're in the first row. While they're stopping them, Booker T comes out and gives an axe kick to Steiner. They had been feuding beforehand. I don't know why, but they had been. And Booker T was supposed to be in this match, but some sort of injury prevented him from competing. I couldn't find any list of an injury in the history of Nitros, and he didn't look injured to me.
No.
So I don't know why he was listed as injury.
I noticed during this WCW pay-per-view a distinct lack of diversity.
Okay, well,
That's kind of funny that you say that.
yeah, Chavo.
He wasn't, no, he was in the crowd.
But Prince Iakea, he's something. He's actually Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Yeah, tan, but not black.
So
There's a difference.
So I was like, wow, there's like no diversity in WCW. And I ended up looking into it. Apparently, a whole bunch of wrestlers got together
Yeah.
and ended up bringing a lawsuit against WCW because, basically saying, like, we weren't pushed because we're not white. And immediately after that is when Booker T wins the WCW title.
Ironically enough, I guarantee you that it was the Luchadors that brought that lawsuit forward.
I guarantee you it probably was, but at the same time, what do you expect when the roster one day goes from, let's say, 30 guys to over 300 guys, and you only have 2 hours to showcase them?
If I had to for real legit guess every black person that's ever been in WCW, you got Booker T, you
Yeah.
got Stevie Ray,
Yeah.
you got Vincent,
Yep.
Okay,
you
that's
got
more than I thought.
Ice Train, you got, we didn't get to this yet, but later on, Ahmed Johnson comes in as Big T.
Yeah.
Okay. Ernest.
Oh!
Ron.
Yeah, Ron Killing.
No,
no, not Ron
no,
Killing. Farouk.
Oh, Ron Simmons.
Ron
Yeah,
Simmons.
there we
Jesus
go.
Christ, yes. Ernest the Cat Miller.
Yep. Screaming Norman Smiley.
Yeah.
Screaming Norman, that's right.
He is
Yeah.
black.
That's,
Okay.
so that's 9, I think.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how many this is, but at one point, Master P and his whole rap group came into WCW. But they left once that was done, so I don't know if that should count, kind of. Oh, and also
Dennis
Rodman.
You've had Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone. You've had some other people like that. Yeah. So, but yeah, the fact that it's like less than 20 in the history of WCW,
Yeah.
that's not.
I
good.
mean, they are a Southern-based company.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's why Booker T wasn't on the show now. Norman Smiley was already on the show.
you guys
You
know-
can't have two black people on the same show without chaos happening.
We had our black quota. We're fine.
Terrible. Do you guys know what Booker T's original WCW gimmick was?
If you say it was like
Oh,
fucking soft shoe Jimmy or something like that.
No, it's worse than that.
no, wasn't it like semi-racist or something like that?
I think the word semi shouldn't be applied here.
What was it?
I don't remember what the other name was. It was like Cole and Kane, who came out in like tattered pants
No.
and chains
No.
with white plantation owner Tennessee Lee.
Really?
He wasn't called Tennessee Lee back then. I figure it was a Buddy Lee Parker. That was it. Yeah. Colonel Robert Lee Parker. Yeah, it was really, really fucked up. I can't believe like that he agreed to it. Like that alone, Booker T, as any success Booker T has achieved in his career, he deserves more. He deserves more for dealing with that fucking shit.
holy
'Cause
shit.
That's horrific. That's horrifying.
Here's the thing, though. I guarantee, in a Southern company, if you made that a gimmick today, the fans would be like, "There's nothing wrong with that." There's like,
I don't see that I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't think it
understand
would
the
get
world
over.
today because
I don't have enough faith in the South.
In the world today, racism is a very important topic. So realistically, you probably should be having like race-related wrestling gimmicks and stuff like that, because that's stuff that we're trying to get out into the mainstream that people will be comfortable with, and that's how you do that. You talk about it.
Yeah.
You show racist live on the air in prime time, and people go. But nowadays, you show that, and instead of people going, "Well, racism isn't cool," they go, "Don't show me racism.
Yeah.
Stop that." So it's hard to be like that's what you should have this day, but if you did, it would get taken off.
but
immediately.
here's the thing. I understand doing it in a satirical fashion, like we're looking at this
that wasn't.
and we're analyzing, and that's the thing. WCW, I'm sure, did not. It was just
No.
like, no, this is a character. What do you mean? Oh, that's just
Right.
how it is.
Terrible.
Well, that's probably, now that I think about it, probably when Bill Watts was the chairman of WCW. So I'm not surprised that gimmick got through. Because
you'd
Bill,
have to
Bill Watts
cross-reference
was apparently very racist. So
Well, good. Well, not good, but
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, looking at the card for Insurrection, there's not much diversity there. Either.
no.
No.
What do you?
I mean, you get like The Rock,
All right.
right? Samoan.
Half.
Devon.
Oh, all right.
You get Perry Saturn, who's
Person's white. Person is very white.
he's tan.
Yeah, but he's still Caucasian.
Yeah,
respectfully,
he's
but-
tan.
exactly.
Not
If
Caucasian.
anything,
And
now that
it's-
we think about it, I think WCW might have had more black wrestlers in their history than WWF, if you think about it.
No, I don't know.
All right, that's not. I don't. We'll say that for another time. That's not what it's about. It may be true. Now that I think about it, you might be spot on.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, Ahmed Johnson,
Coco Beware.
and Junkyard Dog and Jacqueline, and that's all I can.
And
think
Farouk.
Farouk, yeah.
Oh well, if Farouk, then the whole Nation of Domination. That's right.
Yeah, they're the whole Owen Hart and Mark Henry.
Oh no, that white guy.
Listen,
Immediately.
in Canada, that's considered black.
What?
Black hearts are considered black people? I don't understand.
Exactly.
So next is an interview with Chris Kanyon. Chris Kanyon and Mean Gene. Mean Gene asks Kanyon, you backpage over the New Blood, and tonight you have to face New Blood member Mike Awesome. Kanyon says Page is like his own brother, and blood is thicker than water. Which I don't...
What?
So is the New Blood
Yeah, the New Blood.
thicker than the not real blood between you and Paige, or is the fake blood thicker than
The new blood.
water between you and the new? I don't know. Go fuck yourself, Canyon. Go fuck yourself. He says you don't get ahead by kissing ass. You get ahead by kicking it. And tonight he's gonna show Mike Awesome nobody is better than Canyon. So Chris Champagne Canyon versus Mike Awesome is next. All right. So why is this match happening?
Because Mike Awesome is part of the New Blood and was like, fuck you, I'm gonna do things and hurt stuff because I'm Mike Awesome. And then Canyon and DDP were like, nah.
That's spot on. That's exactly why this match is happening. This match is happening because Canyon is friends with DDP and Mike Awesome is the New Blood's big guy and DDP and the New Blood don't like each other.
Yeah.
That's why this match is happening. You are spot on with why this match is happening. Very good guess too, because before the match, they show a video package of Mike Awesome and his powerbomb. Nothing about why, they're just hey, you know Mike Awesome has a powerbomb, right? Yeah.
The whole thing, the whole video package, actually, the whole match, the whole video package, they talk about how Mike Awesome is like, I got the best powerbomb in the business, better than Kevin Nash's. I have the best. Now let's have a match with Chris Kanyon.
He's clearly feuding with Kevin Nash. The Nitro before, he powerbombed Hulk Hogan through a table.
Yeah.
And then Nash came out to save Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
And then he powerbombed, he's fighting Nash. I don't know why Kanyon is involved in this shit.
Which, thank you for mentioning that, because they show him powerbombing Hogan like good 2-3 times, and each time they show it, it looks like he can barely hold Hogan for the power bomb.
Hogan weighs like 300-something pounds. The guy's a mammoth.
But still, it's like, if you're gonna do a spot like that, at least work on it or think of something different to do rather than be like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a power bomb that's just gonna look really fucked up right now.
Let's not blame it all on Hogan's weight. Let's maybe say Mike Awesome is not the best at power bombing people.
Yeah, he almost fucking broke Canyon. I'm surprised Canyon even walked.
The power bomb that Awesome does to Canyon, that's the power bomb that Nash did to the Giant.
Yes. You jumped to the end of the match, but yeah. Hey, you jump to the end of the match, we'll go to the end of the match. The only thing I have to say is it kind of sucks because the bell rings and something happens in the crowd because you immediately see everyone in the crowd look to their right.
Oh, really?
Deeper into the crowd, not paying attention to the match.
Yeah.
Which sucks because the bell rings and they just start brawling, and then there's like a kick and a boot, and Canyon gets sent outside, and Mike Awesome just jumps over the top rope at Canyon, and the crowd's still just looking to the right, not paying attention to the match. So I was just like, oh, you poor bastard, you killed yourself for no reason.
More hardcore than the hardcore match?
A little bit, yes, because the end of the match is after a reverse powerbomb and a clothesline, Mike Awesome hits the powerbomb.
Yep.
And that's when he drops Canyon right on his fucking neck. It was gross.
His neck, it looked like it was his face, and his neck just bent with it.
Oh, I don't know. It looked like he kind of just dropped him. And you actually see, if you see, he drops him on his fucking neck, which that's his finisher.
Yeah.
So boom, and then you walk away, but he drops him on his neck and goes, oh shit, I dropped him on his neck, and stomps him to go, are you alive? And then Canyon sells the stomps and goes, oh my god, thank you. Holy shit. And then goes back to, yeah, I'm the best. I didn't murder anybody.
Only himself in the future.
Hits his finisher.
Yes.
And then
He goes outside. Yeah. And then he doesn't go for the pin. Hits his finisher. You think he'd go for the pin.
Yep.
Doesn't. He goes outside, pulls up the padding outside of the ring. Awesome does. And he goes to Powerbomb Canyon again on that side. This time, Wolfpack music hits. Nash comes out. He makes the save. Clotheslines Awesome into the ring. New Blood comes out, attacks Nash. The ref calls for the bell. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I found the weirdest thing. Nash interferes.
Yeah, Nash
Perfectly fine.
Comes out, clotheslines Awesome into the ring. Awesome gets up, he kicks Awesome. New Blood comes out, they get into the ring, start beating up Nash. Then the ref, no, disqualification, match is over.
So it's funny because we brought this up during the Ready to Rumble podcast. The fact that the ref has no problem with interference by 5, 6, 7 guys, but eventually it gets to the point where they're just like, you know what, fuck this, bing, bing, bing.
Well, not even that. It's
And
like,
that's real. That's actual WCW at this point.
exactly, because I feel like they do that as a theme later on in the night with a couple matches where it's just like, yeah, we're going to have one guy come out, and then we're going to have 3 other guys follow for no reason.
So Nash knocks out a few of the New Blood, but gets overwhelmed. The Millionaires Club comes out and evens the odds. Then R&B Security, which by the way stands for Russo and Bischoff Security.
Yep.
They come out. They take on the Millionaires Club while the New Blood slinks out. Canyon's music hits, so I guess Canyon's the winner. Winner by something, Canyon.
Well, because Kevin Nash clotheslined Mike Awesome, and the ref called for the bell, and because Mike Awesome was the last person in the ring when the bell rung, he technically lost. WCW rules, son.
Well, that doesn't matter, because as Shivani explains, the story isn't who won or lost.
Oh, okay.
But that the Millionaires Club came together as a force to fight off the New Blood. Why have a fucking match then? Why not just do a promo? Like,
Even though, like, if that's the story, you just showed us at the beginning of the pay-per-view, that happened last Wednesday.
yeah, it's fine. You had a returning Macho, like, that was when they all came together.
Where the fuck is Mach?
That's... You know what's ironic is we're saying the same thing for both the Ready to Rumble and this pay-per-view. Where the fuck is Macho Man?
I saw him at the beginning. Like, you showed me. And then he's just gone?
What a theme. Where's Macho? All right. Up next is the Control of Liz match, I guess. I assume that's what it's about. The Total Package versus Buff Bagwell. Why is this match happening?
Well, what happened was there was a match at some point previously that Russo won, and then he had control of Elizabeth, and she became his slave, and now the Total Package wants her back?
Yeah, I don't know. This storyline's been going on for a couple of months now.
Really?
Like, even before Russo re-debuted, it was like, we're changing everything. So I don't really know why it started, but basically Russo was like, all right, fine, you're with Liz. I'll never be able to be with Liz. I'll never be able to have sex with Liz or whatever, whatever the innuendos he used for that, basically.
Yeah.
But he's like, but Liz works for WCW. I own WCW, so I own her contract. He doesn't own WCW, but he's in charge of it. So I own Liz. So basically he's just like, that contractual obligation thing, kind of like with Michaels and JBL, or I'm sure they've done it other times.
Yeah.
But that was the most recent one. And basically what happened was Elizabeth was like, yeah, no, I still don't care. And Russo was like, whatever, I'll just have my R&B security kidnap you. And that's why Luger's trying to get her back. And Russo keeps putting her like on leashes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's just bad. So yeah, I am slightly confused because the video package that they show before the match just suddenly ends with a Liz Russo promo. So I'm like, wait, is this part of the video package? But no, it's not. And Russo's like, what are you wearing, Liz? Didn't you used to wear that with him? It looks like a tablecloth. It does look like a tablecloth.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't look like a tablecloth. It looks like a doily that goes on top of the tablecloth. He says, go change, the bastard. And he has a surprise for her. Not a good surprise, I presume. Probably a bad one.
Sex surprise?
His penis?
It must be if you both thought of it. All right, out comes the Total Package. In September of '99, Lex Luger did a promo where he appeared in a casket and his ghost rose up from the casket to state that Lex Luger was now dead and long live the total package.
Well, side note for the total package. On one of Austin's podcasts, Eric Bischoff was on there, and he had mentioned that he completely saw nothing in Lex Luger as a talent, and that the only reason he hired Lex Luger in the WCW was as a favor for one of the wrestlers. And that even in the interview when he hired Luger, he told Luger straight out, he's like, listen, I see nothing in you. I'm just giving you a job because a friend asked me to do it. Outside of that, there's nothing for you here, really.
Wow. Fucking brutally honest.
So the total package comes out, and Scott Hudson says he gets kind of excited when Lex Luger poses. Well,
Weird.
not Lex Luger, the total package. Sorry.
Yeah, Lex Luger's dead.
Or Flexi Lexi, I guess you could call him. Or my dad used to call him Flex Loser. 6'4", 270, 4% body fat. His entrance is not as impressive when someone doesn't pull his clothes off for him.
Yeah.
It just kind of looks like a sad man when he has to take his own clothes off. Maybe he really is sad. Enter Buff Bagwell. It's weird because, like, in 99, he was kind of being groomed to be the next top guy, and now he's definitely nowhere near that spot.
Yeah, I don't understand Buff Bagwell at all. I don't understand his character, his gimmick, I don't know.
Which is funny that you say that they were trying to build him up, because on the WWE Network, when they show the Slamboree 2000, like, his face is, like, the face that they
He's
show.
the face for Slamboree.
Yeah, which I was just like, I find it really weird that he's the face for the pay-per-view, but yet he's so low down, because I was always taught to believe that if you're the face of the pay-per-view, you're a main event. Or you're at least, one of the big matches happening that night.
Just to give you a reminder, I mean, it was kind of a year ago, but a reminder of how racist WCW is. Somewhere in 99, I want to say June, July, Buff Bagwell was feuding with Booker T. And in order to taunt him, he came out on Thunder dressed in blackface.
Oh.
That'll do it.
Yeah?
That'll do it.
So I don't know why he's in the poster of anything, but he is. Yes. The match starts roughly as you presume with a pose down. I don't like Lex Luger, so until Buff Bagwell uses the ropes about a quarter way through the match, I forget that he's the heel in the match.
Look, I don't understand who the heel or face is in any of these matches.
You know what it is? I don't know if it's because we're not from that time era, so we don't know what the storylines are, or are familiar enough with the exact storylines, but it seems to me that all the guys on the card that they're like, these are the good guys, you go, those guys have been heels their whole career before and since this point, so I don't know why they're faces. And the opposite is the same. Like, all the guys that are heels are faces, and all the guys that are faces, you go, I don't like these people. Why are they the faces? Ric Flair, Lex Luger, Flair's right, but all these guys are just like, I don't understand how you're Hogan, face. Why? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I find, you are right. Throughout the whole pay-per-view, there is, like, a weird not knowing who's face, who's heel. And I feel like the New Blood should have been face, but for some reason they're heel.
No,
Yeah.
that's absolutely the New Blood, without a doubt, because the whole idea was we want to push new talent.
Yeah.
So New Blood should have been the faces.
Yeah.
And the whole Russo and Bischoff teaming with the New Blood makes no sense. The fact that the faces are called the Millionaires Club, who the fuck cheers? Who's like, yeah, I love millionaires? What? No!
Yeah.
You're not supposed to love millionaires. You're supposed to be like, you motherfucker.
I don't know. That kind of makes sense to me.
Really?
Yeah, Republicans, Deep South.
No,
WCW,
but like it doesn't.
I'm not saying it makes sense from like a personal standpoint, but the history of stereotypes, it's had enough.
It's just it's all so backwards. Like it makes so much sense if it's like Nash and Hogan and all these guys being like, fuck you, no, we're not gonna let any of these new talent, you fans want to see them, we're not gonna let it happen. Great, make them the heels, Team Bischoff and Russo with them if they have to get involved. Great, put them with them, and then let the new stars like get built up by working their way up and having to overcome all these old guys. But instead, it's literally like, no, all the guys who've been around forever, yeah, well, you're still gonna cheer for them.
Yeah,
and it's not like Hogan can be a huge heel. Nash can be a huge heel. Well, Flair, motherfucker, was in the Horseman. He could be a huge heel. Like, I don't know if it's just the fact that, like, WCW fans are like, I recognize these guys and they've been around a while. Yeah.
It can't be because, like, Hogan was getting some boos when he came out, I felt.
Dude, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know if at this point WCW had changed storylines so much and so often that everyone was just like, I'm just going to fucking clap, and then whoever's up at the time I'm clapping, they're
To
the
be
face.
honest, most of the time you watch WCW, man, it seems people are just there to yell and, like, wait for titties and beer. Like, it's just... It seems like it's less about the show and more about the atmosphere at this point.
Maybe. Again, who was a WCW fan?
I don't know.
Who was like, I want to watch this. Fuck WWF.
I don't know. The match ends pretty weird too, I think. Towards the end of the match, we're shown Russo leaning back in a chair, and Liz runs up and pushes him down from the chair, grabs the bat that he has, and leaves.
Yep.
Total Package calls for the rack, but sees Elizabeth, who ran down to the ring and gets distracted. Liz enters the ring and goes to hit Bagwell, but he catches the bat and goes to kiss her, but instead kicks the Package, like kind of like behind, like a mule kick almost, then nails him with the bat. Bagwell goes up for the blockbuster, and Liz nails him with the bat.
Yep.
Finally. Package picks up Bagwell, torture rack.
Bing, 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 bing.
Immediately win, yes. Elizabeth is away from Russo and back with the Total Package. Hooray. They hug. In a hug that's actually, like, awkward.
Yeah.
They kind of hug in a way that I'm like, did you guys just break up in real life? Like, it was kind of a weird hug.
Yeah.
If Luger walks away with Elizabeth now, why do they show later when Russo's running away from Nash?
What do you mean he doesn't walk away? Because after the match, Chuck Palumbo comes out.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Power plant wrestler from WCW. He blindsides the Total Package and Liz with a crowbar.
Yeah. Now, mind you, when Chuck Palumbo comes out, he is in full Total Package attire.
Yes.
He's wearing the same exact attire as the Total Package.
Yes, he is. Trunks, same knee pads.
Boots,
Well,
everything.
I mean, they're not too much. It's just black with the logo on it.
Yeah.
That logo is the logo of Lex Luger's gym. The actual man, Lex Luger, so not the Total Package.
But he's dead, and then Total Package inherited Lex Luger's gym.
Oh, that's right.
It was
so
left to him in the
it's-
will.
Yeah, copyright law, something like that. Palumbo struggles, but eventually puts the package in the rack.
Yeah.
And Bagwell picks up Liz and takes her into the back. So they got Liz back away from Luger again. Interview with the franchise.
All right.
Mean Gene Okerlund and Shane Douglas. No, it's the franchise. Get it right, Mean Gene.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Franchise Shane Douglas. It was the best. Douglas faces Flair later on tonight. And Douglas grabs the camera as he cuts the promo and he says, it's been 7 years coming, but tonight he finally retires Flair, and tonight Flair gets his ass franchised.
Yeah.
Which confuses me because I didn't know, like, there was a retirement stipulation on the match. I guess that's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Flair loses, it's retired, Flair wins, he gets Russo. Like, I
didn't even know there was a stipulation until after the match ended.
Yeah. I didn't get it either. So, Shane Douglas versus Ric Flair. Why is this match happening?
Because they finally want to capitalize on the fact that Douglas has been shitting on Flair for years.
That's exactly why this match is happening, yes. For 7 years, Shane Douglas has been saying things like Ric Flair sucks, calling him Dick Flair, and claiming Flair kept Douglas down during his NWA years after he got the rub from his then partner, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And it's just been, over the years, he's been calling Flair garbage, and Flair's been going, yeah, I'm Ric Flair, I don't care who you are or what you say, or...
Well, even Flair points it out, too, when they're both in the ring, and Flair's just like, yeah, this is how a champion gets in. And he's yelling at the ref to hold up the ropes for him.
Yeah.
When they get into the ring, Douglas grabs the mic and he says they get to see Flair become retired by a better wrestler and there's nothing they can do about it. Mm-hmm. Flair enters with a black t-shirt and slacks. He calls Douglas a dipshit and says he's going to kick his ECW ass. Flair's wearing a black t-shirt, black dress shoes, black slacks, and a black leather belt to wrestle on a pay-per-view.
Dude!
Shivani tries to explain it by saying that Flair has been wrestling in street clothes ever since this started because all his fights with the New Blood are street fights. But that's the worst. That's disgusting.
Dude, the fact that he's just wearing dress shoes, it's...
Yeah, the fight...
I really feel like it was one of those things where he missed his flight. He was running late into like, your match is on now. And he was like, well, fuck it. I guess I'll just take off my jacket and go out there.
I don't think that was it. I mentioned this to you briefly, Jim and Tom. I think at this point, fucking at least half the roster is just phoning it in. Like, half the roster in their matches and everything they do, they're just like, it's a check.
This comes up later, but at the end of the Sting match, he looks depressed.
Yeah.
He looks sad. Same thing with Terry Funk. When he leaves his match, he just walks out and Norman's like dancing there and he's kind of like, well, that was my job. Oh, well.
It's like, I watch some of the matches and you watch the guys and it's like, they don't have emotion on, like, they're just doing moves and just doing things. They're not like, there's no connection with them in the crowd. It's just like, blank face.
Like autopilot.
Yeah, it's autopilot. It's like,
Well, I don't know. I didn't feel that way that much with the Vampiro and Sting match. My only issue with that match was that I thought I was a little too short.
not everything.
Right, yeah,
But
no.
I would say at least half of the workers are just like,
Yeah, I'll give you that.
who
That-
gives a
I
fuck?
wasn't saying this Sting match was bad, but I'm saying once the match is over,
Oh, yeah.
when you watch him walking the back, you see that he's got this look in his face
He's
like,
like,
what the fuck am I doing
Yeah.
here?
Because he probably thought the same thing I did. Match should have been longer.
Probably should have been. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, Shane Douglas versus Flair. I don't know. It was an alright. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Despite there being like totally relaxed rules, 3/4 of the way through the match, Shane Douglas sneaks a chain out of his boot.
Yeah.
And punches Flair and then hides it back in his tights, which doesn't make sense because later on in the match, Flair full on low blows him. The ref's just like, "Oh, that was rough."
Yeah.
Yes, I don't.
I fuck me because I should have counted. How many matches does someone get low blowed in? It's a lot. It's a lot. It's
I didn't keep track.
yeah.
At
It
least
happens.
3.
It happens in
four
this
that I can
match,
think
the
of.
Sting match. It happens in the main event match.
It happens in the first match.
Oh, the
I
cruiserweight match?
can't
Yeah.
know it happens in. There might have been a low blow.
Did you mention the Hogan Kidman one?
Nope, I didn't mention that.
Yeah, there's that
so
one.
that's 5 matches where a low blow happens. But like, I get it, lax rules, but it's fucking like, what does the low blow mean? What's the point?
I don't really know. Like I said, later on in this match, towards the end, Flair bounces off the ropes and just kicks Douglas
Field goal.
right in. Yeah,
Yep.
field goals him. And the ref's looking right on. And he's like, meh. Oh, whatever. After he does that, though, Flair goes for the figure 4, and Bagwell, you can see Bagwell running down the entrance ramp.
Yep.
And as he's running down, someone dressed as Sting just appears on the apron.
Yeah. Everyone's like, it's Russo! Russo in that Sting mask!
Yes, and he hits Flair with the bat, and Douglas rolls up Flair and gets the win. Winner by pinfall, Shane Douglas. Presumably, Flair's retired now?
I was just about to say that because I thought it was only if Flair won he got 5 minutes with the Russo.
Yeah, because right after the match, they beat Flair up, and then they walk away.
Yeah.
And then Flair gets to the mic, and he's like, no, get back here. You owe me 5 minutes. You owe everybody 5 minutes, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, we're not coming down, we're not coming down. Then the total package comes down, like, oh, you got to get back in the ring, pushes him back in the ring. Flair's got Russo or whatever, and then he looks behind him and goes, what, that's the real Russo? Who's this guy? Fake Russo.
David
pulls out, well,
Flair!
first he pulls out a miniature ceramic Statue of Liberty
And
smashes Flair over the head with it, and then, yes, it's David Flair.
And I think it's Shivani's like, that was just a miniature Statue of Liberty. He just-
No, it was, I wish it was Shivani. It was actually fucking Mark Madden.
Mark
that
Madden.
piece of shit. I was like, oh, it's Statue of Liberty, God! Like, how did you know that? Like, how, you bitch.
Oh. Who, like, what fucking, again, nobody in the locker room gives a fuck at this point.
No.
But, like, who was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I hit you with a mini Statue of Liberty? Like, who?
Not even that. Who thought David Flair as a reveal was going to get that much of a reaction? The fans didn't even seem like they gave a shit. It's like, oh, it's that kid. Whatever.
I don't know why. I mean, he's been on TV for a while, so it's sad.
But he's not that good, though.
I watched Nitro after this. The next night, like, Flair comes out and he's like, David, don't do this. Don't do this. And then David Flair comes out and he's like, I told you, Dad, I was mad at you. And he's like, don't air personal laundry on air. And then Russo's like, shut up, Flair. He's with me. He's always going to be with me. I'm his new dad. And then Flair's like, listen, David, I know what you want. I told you that's not how things work. If you want, to get big in the biz, it takes time. But if this is really what you want, come back with me. I'll make a call right now. You'll be on Raw tomorrow. And David Flair's like, oh, and he hugs his dad, and they're like, yeah, he's back together with David. The Flairs are back together. Yeah, they're back together. And then David Flair reaches into his jacket and pulls out a ceramic Statue of Liberty and smashes Flair on the head again. What? Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it.
Wait, so he actually says you'll be on Raw tomorrow.
I'll call. I don't know if he says I'll call Vince or if he says I'll call North, but he says I'll call and you'll be on Raw tomorrow night or whatever. Next Monday.
Not even that. They're trying to push ceramic Statue of Liberty, as a gimmick.
I love it. It's great to me.
All right.
Oh man. So, yeah. Anyway, they start a 5-minute beatdown. Russo comes in. They both beat him down, and 5-minute beatdown, and it all started with his own son. That's direct Ready to Rumble. The beatdown started with his own son taking his mask off.
Damn it!
Oh man,
We could have fucking phoned this in. We could have just replayed the last episode.
That's what they did. It's just Ready to Rumble all over again, huh? Well, actually, it's not because Wolfpack music hits and out comes Nash.
Oh shit!
Wearing a Lex Luger gym T-shirt. When it cuts back to Russo in the ring, you can actually see Russo in the ring mouthing curses, going, "Fuck! Oh shit! Fuck!" Like just as the match is coming out, I'm like, "Jeez, Russo." Nash comes out and throws David down, and he hits a knee, and he goes to powerbomb Russo, but then Daphne comes in and hits another low blow on Nash. Nash goes down. They stomp him for a while. Russo, David Flair, and Daphne all leave together to cheers for some reason.
Dude.
They got cheers at the end. It didn't make any sense to me. I assumed it was just because Daphne's hot.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the fact that, they didn't shy away from the Daphne gimmick, and she literally just went out and was just going,
Yeah.
and just screaming.
As annoying as it is, I do appreciate the Daphne gimmick for being 100% all the time. It's turned to 11 from start to finish.
There might be other people phoning it in. She's not.
No, she is definitely not. She is spot on.
She was actually at the last VPW show, or the one before that.
Good for her. She's going around. She's moving around her life, huh?
Yeah, she's, front of
whatever.
capacity crowd of like 300-400.
Well, hey, look, we can't all do WCW for our whole lives. Next is a video package for Sting versus Vampiro. Why is this match happening?
What's better than one crow? Two crows.
Okay, what about you, Delta?
Okay, so what happened was Sting is this dark, brooding guy, and Vampiro is like, oh yeah, you think you're dark and brooding? I'll show you what dark and brooding really is, because I'm Vampiro, and I'm all fucked up, and now you're going to be all fucked up like me, man.
Yeah, that's kind of it. You left at the part where he would quote nursery rhymes, but get them slightly off. Like, he'd be like, "Come into my shop," said the spider to the crow. What? That's not how it... What are you doing?
Was this after the first blood match?
Yeah, actually, what was happening was Vampiro claimed that Sting needed to be dehumanized and turned into a monster. And Vampiro would attack Sting with a red liquid bath. Because they couldn't say blood for some reason. So he attacked him with a red liquid bath. Sting didn't just take the bath and go, what the hell? He was traumatized and left the blood on himself for a good week or two.
Weird.
All right, just to finish this up, because that was not all Vampiro did to Sting. He didn't just give him a blood bath. He also hanged him to dry from the blood bath. He cut a hole in the ring and pulled him through it during one of Sting's match and then pushed him back out, covered in the red liquid again. The Nitro before this, they had a graveyard match where Vampiro hit Sting over the head with a tombstone, shattering it, dumping Sting into an open grave, and then instead of dumping the dirt from a wheelbarrow onto the grave, he pushed the whole wheelbarrow into the grave. Despite him having that happen to him on top of the tombstone, Sting came back later that night and beat him up with a bat.
Why?
At night, yeah.
How? How?
It doesn't...
What the fuck?
Every week, Vampiro would go, Sting, you're not who you say you are. You gotta be darker. And Sting would come out and kick the shit out of Vampiro. And then next week, Vampiro would go, Sting, you can't beat me, Sting. It was awful.
So that's May 2nd, 2000, the Nitro, right? Because I'm going to fucking watch that. You said
First, I believe, but yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But yeah, it's whatever, first or second. Yeah, it's definitely.
May, when are we? This is May
7th? It's the first
Yeah.
Nitro in May, so.
So May 0th.
Yes, absolutely. Because that's 7 days, so yeah.
Yeah.
Vampiro enters the ring with a long pipe for some reason. And Sting's music hits, and a crow is shown on the scaffolding. Sting enters, and the match starts halfway up the entrance ramp. This is another match that spends a lot of time outside of the ring and time at the commentaries table.
And if anything, out of everyone I've seen so far, Vampiro seems to be the only one who really knows his gimmick well and knows how to get it over.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, Vampiro is very good. Like, his wrestling is kind of what needs work.
Oh, yeah.
His gimmick is fine.
No, he's got his gimmick down, but his wrestling.
His wrestling.
Yeah.
It's because he's got a very Mexican-style wrestling,
Yeah.
so it's very sloppy. Toward the end of the match, Sting gives Vampiro a super bomb, which is a powerbomb off the top rope. I don't know why. Sting...
After a low blow.
Yes, that's true. After no blow, yes. Oh, man. He picks up Vampiro's pipe and hits Vampiro 4 times with it, including one right in the head.
Yep.
He gives him a stinger splash and then another stinger splash
splash
while he's just holding the pipe. He just holds it and gives him a stinger splash.
It was great, because he grabs the pipe for the second stinger splash and charges. And you're like, oh, he's going to splash the pipe into him. And then as he splashes, the pipe just goes over Vampiro's head.
And nothing.
And then, it was just another, you were just holding the pipe.
Stinger death drop, followed by another one for the win.
Yep.
Winner by pinfall Sting.
I just like to say, it looked like towards the end, like Sting forgot what his own finisher was.
He just starts grabbing him
Because
and
he goes,
twisting
all right,
him.
I'm going to go give him a super... Oh, wait, we're at the end. Shit, I got to turn him around for
I
this one.
felt like Sting lost where he was because he gives him the death drop and then he gets up and he points to the crowd and he's like, man, I'm like, yeah, Scorpion Deathlock. And he gets up and gives him another DDT and the crowd along with me go, yeah, oh, all right, okay. Well, at least he won, I guess. Whatever.
So 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah,
Bing, bing, bing.
Stinger wins, yeah. And then after the match, Scott Hudson just mentions that the war is far from over because neither man will allow themselves to be defeated, which is probably why Sting's pissed off at the end of the match because he's going to keep doing this shit.
And, okay.
Yeah.
It is written that Sting leaves, gets halfway up the ramp, and then she comes back and hits him in the face.
Right in the face,
with
yeah,
the
with the
pipe
pipe.
again.
I wasn't sure if that was supposed to happen or if it was because he was leaving and he saw that Vampiro was getting up and he was like, you motherfucker!
Yeah, bam.
I gave you 2 of my finishers. Why are you up? Right in the face with a lead pipe. I hope it was lead and not real lead. All right, next is an interview with Diamond Dallas Page and David Arquette.
Yeah.
Finally, Mike Tenay shows up.
Yeah.
Not that I want to see him. I don't like Mike
Where the
Tenay at
fuck
all,
has he
but-
been?
Yeah. Mike Tenay is interviewing, and he says that this could be the end of David Arquette's acting career. Arquette is scared, but just stick to the plan. Stay away from Jarrett, and don't grab the belt. And he also says that if you see anybody coming, get to the top and defend the belt.
Yep.
Quickly go to Nash. Nash is looking for someone. After a few back and forth, the commentators realize, oh, it's probably Russo.
Yeah.
It's probably looking for Russo. We go to a long shot of the arena as they get whatever the next interview is ready, and you can actually see somebody in the ring being taken out by an EMT. I presume it's Vampiro, which, if it is, then he must have really got the point taken home. Fucking, like, beat him in the head with oh, well, if you're going to smash me in the face, I might as well let the EMT do it. He's going to get in the back and just be like, you dick, why would you call for an EMT? You motherfucker, you were like, just nothing is good for Sting. Sting's like a perfectionist. Interview with New Blood. 2 in a row. Mike Tenay's back again. And he's interviewing Kidman with Tori Wilson and Eric Bischoff with Kimberly. Kidman says he's already beat Hogan 3 times, so it's no problem this time. Bischoff says he'll call the match right down the middle of Hogan's yellow back. And I don't know why, but right now I realize I think calling someone yellow might be racist. Because when you call someone yellow, you call them sneaky or cowardly, and Asians are sneaky and cowardly because they're always coming out of the trees and the trees, and they're yellow because that's the dumb color they apply to Asians.
Your understanding is racist. I don't think...
Yeah, I think you're making a racist excuse for your train of thought.
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes sense to me. People call Asians yellow. I don't know why that, but they call them yellow.
Attempt at
I'll give
etymology.
you that. I'll give you that they call Asians yellow.
Yeah.
But the thing before that, I do not get.
Like, maybe I explained it in the wrong way, but yeah. People who are yellow are cowardly and sneaky, right?
Yeah, but no, the
Asians
Asians coming out of trees and whatnot. I've never seen an Asian hide.
You don't talk to a lot of
Ninjas?
Vietnam War vets, huh?
I guess not.
Yeah, ninjas, Vietnam, fucking sneaky Japanese Pearl Harboring us. I'm pretty sure it's all adding up.
Is it really sneaky if you could see the planes coming?
Look, it wasn't sneaky at all. They warned us several times about Pearl Harbor.
Oh, see, so if anything, we're just fucking morons.
No, we're definitely morons. But I'm still saying that I'm pretty... Look, I'm not saying... I'm just saying I'm pretty sure calling someone yellow is an Asian racist term. Skin of a hot dog and hair silken like that of a Chinese man. These are the properties of Hulk Hogan. Yellow, Hulk Hogan, Chinese. But look, it's all... The Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory is laying out perfectly. I know who did 9/11. It was Hogan and the Asians. So, quick side note. If you send your cable bill as a proof of purchase to WCW, you get a free Buff Bagwell pendant.
Awesome.
So, a special guest referee match with Eric Bischoff. And it's Kidman versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Why is this match happening?
Cause Kidman's like, I'm in the new blood and I'm tired of old has-beens, legends.
All right,
holding...
this game isn't as fun if you actually read what I have written down.
No, that was my...
Oh. Then you're just getting better and better at the game because that's pretty much spot on as to what's happening.
The why this is happening is the new blood versus the Millionaires Club.
Yeah, that's exactly. No,
I
exactly.
think it was what the commentary said, which was that Hogan had made an offshoot comment that Billy Kidman couldn't
Wrestle his way out of a paper bag.
No, not that he couldn't main event a wrestling match at a flea market or some shit like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, why it's happening is because Billy Kidman joined the New Blood and he took on the attitude of I'm not going to be held down by so-called legends and all the old guys have to go. This resulted with him fighting with older or legend wrestlers, calling them fakes and garbage. He's been calling out Hulk Hogan for a couple of weeks, possibly months, claiming that he's selfish, keeps down younger talent, and is past his prime, which surprisingly are all true. At Spring Stampede, Kidman attacks Jimmy Hart, which set Hulk Hogan into a rage, or an unstoppable fit of Hulkamania. The Nitro before this pay-per-view, Mark Madden said that Hulk Hogan will never pass the torch. He's had it since we were little kids, and Tony Schiavone defends this with saying, and that's okay with him. And then he quickly changed the subject to how every time Kidman beat Hogan, the 3 times that I mentioned earlier, somebody helped him. Also, just to point out the state of Hogan, Hulk Hogan was put through a table by Mike Awesome for the 2nd time in 7 days. On Monday, the Nitro before this. Hulk Hogan later lost to Mike Awesome in a match that Kidman interfered in and ended with Hulk Hogan getting a red liquid bath. So that's where we are. Eric Bischoff enters with Kimberly, and Kimberly is so gorgeous, nothing will ever give me a new erection again. It's only like the 2nd time I watch it, I think that maybe she's not attractive, and I just like the color purple way too much. Because she's doused in purple, so. Next enters Kidman, and Tori Wilson proves I was wrong and I could get a new erection. Finally, coming out last, dressed in black, is Hulk Hogan to American Made. He comes out with Horace Hogan. Horace Hogan does not give me an erection. There's no erection for Horace Hogan. No, nothing.
Now, who is Horace Hogan? Was he like
nephew?
Yeah.
Was he really related to?
Yeah, I know. He was, yeah.
Okay, I was attributing it was like one of those where it was wrestling related. Where it's like, yeah, let's get Pac going down the street. He's tan enough to be this guy's brother.
It's his real nephew, yeah. Also, side note, which I think I wrote down somewhere else. Mike Awesome is cousins with Horace Hogan.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Nepotism at its best.
Yeah. Nepotism.
During this match, the stream messes up, so I have to watch it twice.
Yeah, let me take a minute to say the WWE Network sucks. It's fucking ass. It is
It's
dirty.
Dirty
butthole.
It's supposed to be HD, but I didn't see any
Sometimes
HD
it's
the
HD.
whole time I was
Do you know how
watching
many
this.
times my fucking stream froze?
Yeah.
Like, it would just like... Boop,
Well, that was funny.
Sorry, fuck
Oh,
you.
It didn't come to a point where the pay-per-view would freeze for minutes at a time?
Oh, no, yeah.
Where you had to hit refresh or wait 10 minutes?
I had to, like, back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that happened
Oh,
several
my
times.
God.
See, that's funny because for the first time, the stream actually worked perfectly fine for me, and nothing went wrong.
You got it all, because you
Yeah.
got shit on.
Yeah. Fuck. Like, and I was like, I can understand during a pay-per-view this happening because, okay, your fucking servers are getting slammed. I was like, motherfuckers, I'm watching this in the middle of a day on a Tuesday. Why the fuck can't your servers handle this?
Yeah, it was not fun. It was not good. This match is not fun for me.
No.
No. Hogan looks like shit.
Yeah.
Billy Kidman weighs 100 pounds less than the guys he usually wrestles, and Hogan is struggling to throw him around. Yeah. I presume it's because Hogan thinks he's lighter than the guys he normally wrestles, that he actually can throw him around, but he's just too old, so that's why he looks like he's struggling with everything he does.
Well, not even that. I wasn't sure if it was part of the match or if it was just that Hogan could not pick up Kidman for what looked like a body slam.
Yeah, everything he did, he struggled with.
Which, now that I think about it, I don't even think he ended up giving Kidman the body slam as much as he just gave up on it.
Yes, no, I remember that. He tried to pick him up for the body slam, and he reversed it into a small package.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Kidman
right,
reversed-
yeah.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was the first time I've ever seen that in a Hogan match, I think, in my life.
Yeah, Hogan, like, how? I can body slam fucking Kidman.
Right? Like, oh my god. Yeah, the match is a mess. At some point, Shivani goes, oh, and Hulk Hogan, he is not taking you more. No more from Hulk Hogan, and that is the fate of Terry Bollea.
So is he Terry Bollea or is he Hulk Hogan?
He's Terry Bollea because right now it's the same thing with Flair. All his matches are street fight. Same thing with Hulk Hogan. Everything. This is all real, brother. This is Terry fighting for. This is Terry. It's awful. It's garbage. This match breaks Mark Madden's mind because at some point he says, "What's the point of a wrestling match? Is it to win or to injure? To gain a higher rank above a wrestler or to be more popular?"
Which, I found it very funny that he mentioned that because if that is the case, who is Hogan trying to be better than?
Yeah, right? Like,
Because
why is
Hogan's
he-
already over Kidman by a long shot. You know?
Yeah.
Why even say that?
Yeah, there's at some point in the match, I noticed Tori Wilson is not playing a very good valet because Kidman's getting beat up, and she has this look on her face where she's just kind of like, "What the fuck are you doing, Kidman?" Like, she's supposed to be like sympathetic, like, "Oh my god, he's getting hurt." No, but she's kind of like, "Why am I dating you? Like, who's this Hogan fella? What's his bank account like?"
Oh, he's in the Millionaires Club.
That's good to know. How much is $1 million again?
How many zeros is that?
Alright, yeah, just blah, blah, blah. Match ends with Hogan kicks Kidman, puts Bischoff through a table, goes out of the ring, gets another table. Kidman low blows him.
Yep.
Kidman puts Hogan on top of the table, goes up to the top rope, misses with a splash. Out comes Horace Hogan, who takes Eric Bischoff's dead hand, because he still went to the table, and that's it. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Hogan wins. Winner by pinfall, Hulk Hogan. I don't know why, but he does.
Cause.
That's ended real quickly because we cut to Russo, who is running with Liz, and he tries to steal the Millionaires Club's bus. I thought it was a random bus. No, that was specifically
that
the
was their
Millionaires
bus.
Club bus, which is why it makes sense why when he opens the door, the total bag is just sitting in the driver's seat. Like, hey, what's going on? Russo just goes, oh shit, let's go to Liz, steals some guy's car, jumps in, drives away, steals it, he's gone. As he drives away, we just see Nash, like, standing in the parking lot casually just drinking beer, like, oh, that's a thing. That's the thing that's going down. All right, we get a video package for the steel cage match. Just telling you everything that happened, gives you a rundown of why the match is going on. We get an interview with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett calls Mean Gene a geriatric slap ass. He calls Arquette a turd and says later tonight they're going to play boots and ladders. If slap nuts is slang for masturbation, what's slap ass slang for?
Anal? Right?
What? Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because if I didn't know slap nuts was for masturbation.
Yeah.
Makes sense though.
His whole gimmick is like masturbation. His finishing move is the stroke.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's the chosen one. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was thinking, I was like, these are the fucking dumbest insults. I was like, this motherfucker is trying so hard to come up with his own catchphrase.
Too in depth. They went over your head.
Yeah. So slap nuts, right? Jerking your gherkin,
Yep.
fap, right? Slap ass has to be, right? In the butt.
I guess. Either that or it's
Against-
just like what? Like friendly sports, like, good game. Slap ass.
Maybe.
That doesn't make any sense. It's gay stuff. It's gotta be gay
It's
stuff.
gotta be. It's gay stuff.
All right. Michael Buffer introduces the match and asks if we are ready. The cage comes down from the roof, and it, like, the way it gets put away, it, like, kaleidoscopes away. So it was just like, that's confusing. Like, to not see Ready to Rumble and go, all right, let's go see the match. You must be like, what the fuck are we getting ourselves into? Did somebody watch, like, a Dog Kennel from Hell match and went, that's a good match, but what if we turn the dogs into another cage? Which I presume then they just spent like billions of dollars trying to figure out how to genetically alter dogs into a cage instead of just buying a cage.
This match, it's so okay. So you have to climb from the first cage into the second cage, hardcore hell, and then up outside to the third cage, which you could just bypass the guitar room.
Right.
It's
The guitar room.
so bad.
The guitar
yeah.
room.
Okay, but we're already in the match, so I just want to go. Do you guys know precisely why this match is happening?
Okay, so what had happened was David Arquette was like, I am here to promote Ready to Rumble with my good friend DDP, because we became friends during Ready to Rumble, and he's part of the Millionaires Club, and Jeff Jarrett, well, you're part of the New Blood, so we don't like each other, so we're going to have a match for the title that also happens to have Bischoff in it. So at the end, when the fighting happens, I'm David Arquette and I'm going to get a pin, and the rest going to count my pin over DDP's pin for some reason.
You're already kind of wrong, but you're pretty close. I mean, that's what the video package showed, but you're already kind of wrong. On April 12th episode of Thunder, David Arquette jumped the guardrail for some reason and got involved with the match between DDP and Jeff Jarrett by climbing to the top rope and jumping off onto Bischoff's back. We don't know why. He just did that. Bischoff threw him off, and that was the end of that. Then, 2 weeks later, April 24th, David Arquette again jumped the rail and attacked Eric Bischoff. They made a match between David Arquette and Eric Bischoff. If David Arquette beat Eric Bischoff, DDP would get a title shot. Arquette won, and then DDP later on won the title shot against Jeff Jarrett to become the new champion. On the April 26th episode of Thunder, Bischoff, Jarrett, and Kimberly arrived to Thunder with a kidnapped David Arquette in the trunk of their car. He remained kidnapped throughout the whole night until the match, which they got DDP to agree to later on tonight, which would be DDP and David Arquette versus Eric Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett with DDP's world title on the line. Whoever gets the pin is the champion. Yes, later on in the match, Arquette pins Bischoff and becomes the new world heavyweight champion. At the end of the match, you see they give him the title, and he looks and he's like, "Wow!" And he shows DDP, "Look, I won the title, And you like, it's all kayfabe, I guess, so acting. But DDP goes, "Oh shit!" It's just so funny. So, yes. And then finally, on the May 1st episode of Nitro, David Arquette tried to relinquish the title and make it vacant for the Slamboree title match, but Bischoff refused to let that happen and made Arquette fight later on the night against Tank Abbott. Yes. David Arquette had to fight legit tough guy and future on-air attempted murderer Tank Abbott. DDP said that wasn't going to happen, and Tank Abbott would have to go through him first. Tank Abbott did go through him first, and he ended up getting a match with David Arquette later on in the night.
Wait, so Tank Abbott went over the guy who was just champ.
Yeah. And I guess also, he didn't go over the champ, because later on in the night, DDP returned from the hospital in a stolen ambulance to come out, give a single diamond cutter to Tank Abbott, and then throw David Arquette over him and give him the win. So David Arquette has a win over Tank Abbott. Oh my goodness. All right, now that that's all over. Cage match. It's just a cage match. David Arquette doesn't have a lot to do in it. All three people who come out have copyrighted music, so the network has to put fake music over it.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was going to say, I was like, why does it sound like David Arquette singing his own entrance music to the ring?
It did sound like he sang it, right?
Yeah.
That was creepy to me.
And then, now, did they just use this triple cage just this one pay-per-view, or did they use it? Okay.
Just this one pay-per-view, yes. And a Nitro
in September,
yes.
Okay. That explains it, because that thing is not sturdy at all.
It is fucking
I tried to
rickety.
explain this to you guys last episode with Ready to Rumble. They used that same, I don't know, it must have been the same cage. It's WCW. They probably had the same one from the 80s when it was Hogan and Macho versus like Zeus and like the guy that plays Bane and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Like just a bunch of like nobodies. Kevin Sullivan, not Kevin Sullivan's not a nobody, but yeah, so it was probably the same cage. And the cage, that doesn't look secure. The cage, the base of it doesn't look secure either, because when people get thrown into the cage
The
wall,
whole fucking wall
like,
pushes out feet by feet.
Like crowd members have to lean back or they're gonna get hit in the face.
Yeah.
Arquette spends the beginning of the match just standing around waiting for DDP to tell him to do stuff. He misses a lot of his moves. He gets hit a lot. Like, somebody will go for a move, and then David Arquette will just be standing in the way. Like, at one point, DDP Irish whips Jarrett into the wall, and where he whips him, Arquette just happens to be standing there and gets squished. Cage 2, or Tier 2, is known as Hardcore Hell. And both men are bleeding before they even get into Hardcore Hell, kind of ruining the point of Hardcore Hell. Mark Madden mentions that the cage is 42 feet high, and that it technically has 4 levels, because you have to go to the top of the third cage. So it's technically got 4 levels. I don't know why, but when somebody pushes over a ladder, why do people just stay on top and go, ah? Why don't they just let go and fall straight? Like, you're gonna fall either way. Why wouldn't you do the smart thing and just let go and fall straight down? Because a straight down fall is shorter than a timbering fall.
Because
You're a wrestler, so you have the info on this.
Yeah.
Please let us know.
you get hit and you're so paralyzed with your fear of getting hurt that your whole body tenses up and you just cling to the ladder and go, ah!
That's exactly what injures people in car crashes.
Hey, it's just how it works. It's just science.
So they make their way to Hardcore Hell, and DDP immediately grabs a bolt cutter and breaks the chain on the door for the second cage, opening it, thus freeing them from Hardcore Hell.
Yeah.
They don't even touch a single weapon, and they're free.
Immediately.
Not even that. Even to get into the Hardcore Hell, I feel like it should have been harder than just being like, oh, there's a door?
Yep.
Well, that's done.
I don't know. I mean, David Arquette struggled with it.
Well, but at the same time, what is David Arquette, like 5'9", 5'10", compared to DDP?
I don't know, because the Nitro before this, Mark Madden was like, oh, that David Arquette, he's 5 foot nothing. And standing next to DDP, who's 6'5", he reaches his shoulder height. So it's like, wait, how tall is DDP then, really?
Speaking of DDP, I have never seen someone with their tights pulled so high. Not even Shawn Michaels.
He wears them like I Dream of Jeannie.
Dude, yeah, they're all the way. They're like,
He's gonna grant somebody a wish.
dude, they're up beyond his lower ribs. They're pretty much like fucking mid-torso on DDP. I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess because he's old. He's in his 40s, so maybe he had a gut and he just tried to hide it.
By just, like,
Yeah.
an ever-long, like...
He's not wearing pants. Well, I guess because pants are... He's just wearing 2 pant legs that just go up forever. It's not, like... I don't know.
He's not wearing pants.
Yeah.
He's just wearing two pant legs.
pants. It adds up, trust me.
That's that sexy thing, like the sexy when you get the pants without the crotch, it's just legs.
Yeah, there you go. See, you know what I was talking about. Don't act like I'm a weirdo. At some point, DDP Irish whips Jeff Jarrett through the wall of the second cage.
I don't know if that was supposed to happen based
Yeah.
on the stability.
What was funny, I thought the same thing too. Once I saw it happen, I was like,
Especially because it didn't happen to the other wall.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I feel like if it would have happened to the other wall the whole time,
If it just came and collapsed. Oh,
that would have
man.
been amazing. At the top, that would have been some fucking straight TNA fucking
Yeah,
Ultimate X, like
yeah.
where the shit just like, oh.
It fell. I might catch it. Yep, I won. Oops. I'm the champ now. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. In Hardcore Hell, DDP sets up a table, and the commentators are like, yeah, that floor really isn't suited to hold the table. And that proves true, because after DDP sets it up, he goes to get Jarrett, and Jarrett's like, hang on, this table isn't set up right, and fixes it, and once he's done fixing it, he turns into a body slam by DDP right to the table. Like, it was like, DDP was like, all right, here comes a move. Hang on, that bump's not safe. Let me fix this for me. All right, here I go now. With 4 minutes left in the pay-per-view, David Arquette confuses everyone when he suddenly climbs from the second cage up to the top of the third cage. Suddenly, a wild Mike Awesome appears and just blindsides DDP. I don't know how he got to the top of the cage.
Dude, he was
that
just
quick.
up there.
Especially because, usually when someone comes
What
out
was
in the
funny-
middle of a match, the crowd goes, oh, yeah. No.
Nobody
Just suddenly Mike Awesome just...
I wondered that too. And at the end of the match,
Yeah.
in one of the angles they show on the ramp that's leading to the ring, they actually have a ladder next to it.
What the
Next to the cage. And that's how Mike Awesome and whoever else
Canyon.
and Canyon, that's how they got up there so quick. Because I wondered the same thing. I was like, wait, we could see the door clearly. How the fuck did he get up there? Is there some sort of magical platform? But yeah, that's what it is. They have the ladder on top of the entranceway, and they literally climb the ladder up onto the cage from that
Mike
point.
Awesome actually drove a cherry picker out and then just stepped off.
That must have been, what it was. Both men climb to the top of cage 2. Both men being DDP and Jeff Jarrett. I don't know where Mike Awesome is at this point, but he's just not involved suddenly. Both men climb to the top of cage 2, which is cage 3. Cage 3 is a
'cause
guitar room.
DDP fought him and hit him with the
Okay.
really awkward diamond cutter.
Okay. Jarrett goes in, grabs a guitar, swings, and misses. Grabs another guitar, swings, misses. Only 2 guitars left. It was quick. There was 4 down to 2 seconds into it.
Dude, they're the fucking shittiest explode into like
Yeah.
dust.
I know. That's because they fill them with too much baby powder.
Yeah, and
DDP.
they're made out of like the worst.
Like
flip-
balsa wood.
Yeah,
Like,
at least
just-
try.
I know. DDP grabs his guitar and hands it up to Arquette, and then gets hit by a low blow by Jarrett. After both men are down for a while, they begin to climb up the third cage. Arquette stands up, winds up the guitar, goes to swing at Jarrett, but stops, turns, and just nails DDP. Goes to fall, and then Jarrett picks another guitar that he was climbing up with, hits him again. That's 2 guitars. DDP goes down, climbs up, grabs the belt, celebrates with Arquette.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett's the new world champion.
Woo!
Immediately cut away from that. Mike Awesome is threatening to powerbomb DDP off the cage.
Yep.
A wild canyon appears out of nowhere, blindsides Mike Awesome. Mike Awesome just he goes, fuck it, kicks Canyon, just, I always thought it was an awesome bump, but
That's
no,
what I
just
thought.
tosses
Yeah,
him
he's
off the cage. He takes the bump that is just, it's gross. You see him land, and it's a fine bump, but then he kind of jerks where you're like, oh, that hurt.
Yeah.
That fucking stung.
Or
Like,
even how he's just like laying there with like his both legs kind of like he was in mid-run when he hit
Yeah.
the floor.
The pay-per-view ends with Mike Awesome raising Jeff Jarrett's hand on the top of the cage. What did you guys think?
Dude, what the fuck? Again, what the fuck? Who was like, I am satisfied with WCW. I like WCW. I'm not gonna watch WWE. Who?
A lot of those, they didn't make any sense. Those few, I don't understand why they did them.
Nope.
I don't understand why.
Again,
Yeah.
where is Mach?
Yeah. I watched the Nitro after. He doesn't show up. I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing.
We gotta watch the Thunder before. Does he get injured on the Thunder before? Because he
No, they
clears
showed the
house.
Thunder
No,
before.
that was the Thunder, where he comes out with the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
That was the Thunder before.
No, I know, and he clears house, but then at the end, it's just Flair and...
Oh, yeah, see what
So,
yeah.
like, does someone, like, hit him with a truck?
Yeah, I don't, he must just leave and go, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, he must come out, clear house, go, I'm retired, dig it, and then leaves. Oh, man. The hardcore match was the only match I liked, which is...
And only for sheer entertainment of, what the fuck am I
Yeah.
watching? Again, there were, like, a couple of matches that had, like, solid working. And
The Candido match was fine.
Yeah.
The Hennig match was fine. I didn't have any problem. Well, I mean, the Hennig was botched in the Candido match. But,
Yeah.
but the Hennig... I blame it on a fucking drug addict Tammy.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. Yeah, it wasn't good.
The only thing I have on this is that, according to one of the many shoot interviews Russo has been involved in, he claims that DDP suggested bringing in David Arquette into WCW, and Tony Schiavone walked up to Russo and asked, what happens if David wins the title? And Russo never once thought about that ever happening. And when Tony Schiavone suggested it, he went, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why doesn't he? But again, in Russo's defense, there was a WCW creative committee of about 12 people, and not one of them even remotely tried to stop him. He went, yeah, I'm thinking David Arquette is world champion. And they all went, yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah, all right, David Arquette, okay, yeah, good, okay.
Fuck.
In his defense, again, his last final defense, he made David Arquette the world champion. He got a picture of WCW champion on the cover of USA Today, and he got Courtney Cox, Kurt Russell, and Kevin Costner, his words, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But Courtney Cox, Kurt Russell, and Kevin Costner all to cut free promos for WCW Nitro.
Nice.
He said, you couldn't pay those people enough money
Yeah.
to do a wrestling promo, and they did it for free.
Right. That's
So,
awesome.
I mean, as stupid as everybody hated it, it was still a good decision because everything that he wanted, it got. It did everything it could. All right. I guess that's all we have to say about it, huh? It sucks. We didn't like it.
Dude. Again, half the wrestlers were on autopilot. Like, it seemed like nobody gave a shit. I gotta go back and count the number of low blows because it's
30.
it's insane.
Oh, man. I want to kind of end this now, but we do have some second opinions to do.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. All right. This first one is called Match of the Night. And this is a kid's review. Before I forget, there's a review that is written by a guy named David. If you click on See All Reviews, it has reviews on some stupid Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then he has reviews on wrestling DVDs. What a weirdo! Who goes from Yu-Gi-Oh to wrestling? Well, anyway, here's my review on Slamboree 2000. It's a pretty good review. The greatest match was the Triple Cage match. You don't see many matches like that nowadays. It's good to see that kind of matches. It was a great concept. I just wish this match didn't have anything to do with David Arquette. That was a really dumb angle. The ending was a real dud, too. I think Diamond Dallas Page versus Jeff Jarrett could have been a really good match if it didn't end that way. I think a good match would have been to make this match sort of like War Games. Team NWO Wolfpack, consisting of Kevin Nash, Conan, Sting, and Lex Luger, versus Team NWO Hollywood, consisting of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, The Giant, Buff Bagwell, and Scott Hall. Instead of them entering at separate times, they would all enter at the same time. I really miss the NWO and WCW. Now, WWE and the resurrected ECW just ruin sports entertainment.
Asshole.
Seriously.
He's a fucking asshole.
5 out of 5 stars.
Oh my god.
Definitely an asshole, that kid. Next up, presumed asshole, Wrestle Dude's back again. He calls this one WCW Slamboree 2000 review. The only thing I didn't like about this video is the lame David guy. I don't know if he means David Arquette or the same reviewer, David, that the kid didn't like. He should never have been in the three-way cage match with DDP and Jarrett at all. Even though I like his theme song, the match itself and the rest were okay. I give the pay-per-view an 8 out of 10. And he was smart this time and actually gave it a 4 out of 5.
Asshole.
Yep. Who likes the theme song? We're not going to take it. All right. Next one by Matthew Hooker, called The Greatest One of This Event. Probably the greatest Slamboree of all time.
Asshole.
Seriously.
The main event lived up to the hype. Conan and Awesome stole the show.
No.
Canyon and Awesome stole the show. Excuse me. This event proves that when WCW is on the top of its game, it can compete with the WWF any day of the week.
Holy fuck.
Canyon vs. Awesome was match of the year material.
This
5 out of 5 stars.
This is him. Matthew Hooker. Matthew Hooker, I'm calling you out. Because we gotta figure out, you're the guy I was talking about. You're the one who was like, oh, WCW, fuck WWF. You're him.
I know what's funny? I was thinking the same thing just now, too. I was like, this is the
This
WCW
is
fan.
that guy.
Oh, man.
This guy alone kept the company open for so long.
Yeah.
All right. This next one, which it's a pretty good one, I think, because it's the only one that was written in the same year that it came out. This was written October of 2000. This one's called Don't Waste Your Money by Norman H. Wolfe. I don't know why, but I presume Norman H.
Norman
is
Smiley?
No, it's actually normal human wolf. It's a wolf who's trying to disguise himself as a normal human. Between Russo and the New Blood, this is nothing but a soap opera. The announcers no longer bother with the action in the ring. They are too busy following the script written for them. WCW charges far too much for their videos, sometimes twice as much as WWF. They seem to have gotten rid of the real stars and kept all of the morons. A few stars do flicker here and there. They are even editing out all the swear words now. Even mild words are bleeped out. I thought the NWO was silly, but they have topped themselves big time. Save your money and rent this one first. 1 out of 5 stars.
Solid opinion.
But yeah, I'd say so. So yeah, this was a fucking awful wrestling card. I don't know what good wrestling is now. I really don't. I have to go watch something else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, WrestleMania, like 20? I don't know what's a good WrestleMania.
This past Mania was pretty solid.
Oh, that's right.
I was
yeah,
pretty
actually,
happy
that was
with
pretty
it.
good, yeah. I wasn't, yeah. All right. So, if you'd like to follow us on Facebook, Tumblr, or Twitter, please search WWYMT or Why Would You Make This? Regardless of how you are listening to this, you can download episodes for absolutely free at wwwymt.libsyn.com. That's wwwymt.libsyn.com. You can also subscribe to us wherever you get podcasts through iTunes, your podcast app on your phone. There's a double pod app for the Android. YouTube also, we're releasing episodes on YouTube, so you can listen to those. VictoryProWrestling.com. What are you doing with your life, sir?
June 6th, 2015, VFW Hall in Center Reach. Should be a pretty solid show. Pretty sure Conflux is going to scrap with the Church of Tibbs. And Val Venus will be appearing. Doing who knows what.
Amazing.
Yeah. Who know that he still did things.
Yeah, the last time I saw Val Venus, he was selling life insurance on a stream.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait.
So then, which makes me wonder if Sean went to go get life insurance. And I was like, oh shit, Velvetus, right? You want some more money?
Yeah. Hey, if I buy you life insurance, you work the show?
You want for $50, right?
Yeah, cool.
Oh, man. All right. The Troy McClure clips comes from Duffless, the 16th episode of the 4th season of the ongoing television series The Simpsons. Our intro music is Falling Off Your Love by Kill Paris. I don't have an outro song, like, at all.
Whoa.
Rap is crap.
Shitty pay-per-view. Oh.
I'll do Rapper's Crap if that's what you want. There's no other time that I'll have a reason to play that song.
I was
so,
trying to think of a WCW related song.
Yeah, I don't, so, enjoy whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Jimmy Time here. I just want to let you know we did choose Rap is Crap by Kurt Hennig and the West Texas Rednecks. I also want to let you know that due to limited server space this month, we had to cut nearly an hour's worth of content from this episode. Luckily, everything removed can be found on our YouTube. You can find that by searching YouTube for WWYMT or Why Would You Make This? Please join us next time for the anthropomorphic martial artist kangaroo film that does not have Ice-T in it, the 1997 action adventure fantasy Warriors of Virtue.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll be a good one. So for Danny Money, J Delta, I am Jimmy Time. Please remember that without the mistakes of others, we would be forced to endure the pain of failure ourselves. Support of the arts.
Folks, you can smell these guys from a mile away. Unless you're downwind, then you can smell them from a couple of miles away. They are the members of the West Texas Rednecks. They are Bobby Duncombe Jr., Kendall and Barry Windham, and ringleader, the leader of the pack, Kurt Hennig.
Well, let me ask you this. How many people just hate rap music? You know, we got a brand new song here we're going to whip on you. It's called Rap is Crap, and it go like this right here. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
The preceding recording is for entertainment purposes only, and make this its owners, employees, or associates.